Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Toxcast. It's me, Detox. We got Anthony here, and this is one of those weird episodes where I am going to sit back and Anthony is going to ask me a whole bunch of questions because now I'm put in the interviewee chair. So, Anthony, take it away.
All right, all right. Well, you got a bunch. You're gonna answer a bunch, so here we go.
We'll see about
I
that.
made sure to watch the last video, so hopefully get some new questions.
Which I can't believe is over 2 years ago.
I know, right?
And a lot of this is anticipation because I thought it would be fun to do because my birthday is quickly approaching, and then I turn 40, so then I'm practically dead. So let's get these questions out of the way before I'm in the ground.
Yes. So, in the last Q&A video, you mentioned that the PS2 was one of your favorite game consoles. Other than the Silent Hill games, what would you say are some of your other favorite PS2 games?
Ooh, I'm gonna try and leer at my wall slightly so I can see some of them. Let's see. Oh, okay. Well, there's some easy ones right off the bat. Spider-Man 2 for the PS2,
Awesome
absolutely
game.
amazing. And outside of the PS4 Spider-Man, like those two are the best two Spider-Man games. And I haven't played the new one yet. One day, hopefully. And from what I saw, Miles Morales, it was pretty good. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think there's a PS1 version, but I never played that. I played it on the PS2. Let's see. Metal Gear Solid 3, which, if you can dig it up, there's an old archaic Let's Play on the channel that I did with a friend of mine. That was a lot of fun. Let's see. The wrestling games from the PS2 era were pretty good. Like you can just lump all those together. All the SmackDown games. Star Ocean 3, really good, although a little cheesy at times. Final Fantasy 12, really cool. I know there's bunches I'm missing. Oh, Vice City. What the hell? Yeah, Vice City was the GTA game that made me fall in love with the franchise. PS2 was also probably the era where I started to I don't want to say dislike, but it started to be the era of a lot of sports games that where I stopped caring. Like I stopped caring about the baseball games, whereas I loved them on the early 8-bit and 16-bit like baseball games, love them to death. Once we started getting to like PS1, PS2, I didn't care anymore. They tried to make them too technical and lost the fun. Make it arcadey.
Right. There were a
Uh,
lot that were very samey too, so
yeah. Yeah, and then the football games were still all right. But yeah, the basketball games started kind of being crappy. The baseball games started being crappy. Anything that wasn't arcadey. And I don't believe I own it anymore. But actually, it might have been a 360 game. But there was a series of. Are you familiar with NFL Blitz?
yes.
There was a series of spin-off games that were called Blitz the League, where it was
Mhm.
like it was NFL Blitz, but it had a story to it.
Yes.
And those two games were amazing, but I can't remember what system they were on. It might have been a 360 though. But yeah, those two were awesome. But yeah, PS2 still one of my favorites. 360 creeped up there. I play so much PC gaming now that I don't know. It's all over the place.
I
I
understand. You get from one game console to the next and then move on from there.
Yep. But yeah, I still have favorites from nearly every console I've ever owned. Maybe not the Sega CD, but most.
For sure, for sure. This is another question I want to ask. Uh, Other than E-Town Concrete, what are some other new metal bands that you are not fond of?
So I feel I've been asked about the E Town Concretes thing several times, and every time I just like talking shit. But I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't tell you the last time I actually heard an E Town Concrete song. So maybe at this point it wouldn't bother me. But I don't know. God, let me think. Shovel, I don't really like. Um, Presence, I'm not a big fan of. Methods of Mayhem has like three songs I like, but they have a lot of crap.
Hmm.
Skindred is the big one I get crap for because I don't like Skindred. I like Nobody, and I like there's one other song on Babylon that I like. Uh, it might be Pressure, but there's two songs in that album I like, and Nobody's one of them. And I can't think of it, but there is one particular song on there that's super like poppy sounding that might be one of the worst songs I've ever heard in my life. I legitimately felt angry when I was listening to it. I was like, nah, I hate that. And I think that might have pushed down the rating of the whole album, but I still, for the most part, wasn't enjoying myself. Um, but yeah, outside of that, and there's probably a lot of newer bands that I'm not particularly fond of, but I haven't spent a lot of time with them because usually, if with the newer bands and the ADHD generation, which I'm fully a part of, if I hear one song and I don't like it, I just kind of move on. Um, and a lot of the newer new metal bands haven't really resonated with me. So, but so discounting them, I'll leave them alone for now. The ones I just mentioned, that's pretty much it. I can't think of any other big name that I'm like nah, because even like a lot of the mainstream bands, I'm like they're all right.
They have a place.
Yeah, even like Disturbed, who I'm not the biggest fan of, they have some songs that I like. Godsmack, same thing.
Hmm. For sure. While we're on that topic of new metal bands,
Mm.
other than Memorage, what would you say are some of your favorite uh, recent new metal bands?
This one I can actually answer. Tala, and I still haven't listened to the second album, but that first one, Matrophagy? I don't know how to say that word, but that album is very good. Blood Youth is really good. Um, the girl band, BHP, they're really good.
Hmm.
Um, I know I'm missing somebody. I thought Dead Waves was pretty cool. Um, I can't think of the band's name, but they have an album called Outworld. Black Coast. They were good. And outside of them and Memorage, kind of drawn a blank. Uh, I mean, the stuff that Orion and Santiago have done has been cool, but they haven't done a whole lot. So I'm kind of like Santiago has Hurry and Orion has Drop Spike.
Hmm.
Um, but they've only put out like an EP's worth of stuff. But yeah, outside of that, that's kind of my bubble for newer new metal.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, there are some good stuff that I've heard. Some of those bands that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I feel like there are some bands that, get a little too metalcore-ish sounding, new metalcore.
Yeah, and I try and stray away from that. We know about my feelings on metalcore.
Hmm.
Oh, painted guy. What's 13? The X
13.
X they're pretty good, but they are they are at times very much like almost a nostalgic act because they do like their sound is very rooted in like we just want to sound like an old new metal band. Like they got those heavy coal chamber tendencies, but they're still good.
Hmm. Yeah, like I think of other songs like they want to exactly like sort of let's kind of copy Scissors from Slipknot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
What are some of your other favorite ones?
Uh, what was that one band from Mass you reacted to? The one with the duck on the cover?
The
It's that
Oh, was
very
it the last one I did?
yeah, maybe.
Was it the one I talk crap on?
No, 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 no.
Oh, okay.
It was like a duck on the cover. They were like shoegazy, sorta like
Oh,
Deftones.
Fleshwater. No, no, yeah.
Fleshwater.
Okay,
Love Fleshwater.
I forgot. I always forget about them. Fleshwater and Narrowhead are really cool. I like their sound a lot.
Hmm.
And I feel bad because one of the Discord guys, Toby, he's talked about them for years, and I just always kind of like meh, brushed him off. And then I finally listened to him. I was like, no, this is really good. Well, that's how I am.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, Fleshwater's a vibe. I like
It
their.
is. It is. Uh, Also, Hate Grenade's pretty cool too.
Oh yeah, I've still only heard the one song that I reacted to. I did like it though.
Hmm.
It felt like something that could have come out in like 2005, 2006.
Hmm. For sure. Another good or question I want to ask: what are some of your favorite recent albums from new metal bands that have been around for a while? Like albums that came out within the last like 10 or so years.
Oh boy. Um. Well, there's a lot of bad, but trying to think. The thing is, in my head, I might get dates wrong. Um, there was one Flaw album that came out that was pretty good. Divided by something. Divided by Fall. Divided we fall.
I think so.
That one was pretty good. Slaves on Dope's Horse was pretty good. Um, trying to think of who came back. Frick. Tango Umbrella was not good. I don't like New 40 Below Summer. Frick. I can't. I haven't liked a Korn album in a while. I don't know how long ago they were, but I like both Diamond Eyes and Koi no Yoken from Deftones. I thought those were both good. Um, and then couldn't tell you a thing about the newer stuff like Ohms and Gore because I don't remember. Uh, there were a couple of Head PE albums in there that were pretty good. I remember Truth Rising and Evolution being pretty good. Uh, am I missing something big? I feel like I'm just gonna go with those. I'm not 100% sure. I feel I'm missing something, but
Uh, that's a good answer. Yeah, I know like when bands have been going on for a while, some of their new material could be either good or bad, because you gotta like really like try with write. It's really hard nowadays, I understand, to write a new solid album of new material. So,
yeah, which is why a lot of artists have been taking like the single route or the EP route, which honestly is fair. Um, but yeah, without like a full like list of bands who have released something in the last 10 years who were around back then, my brain's not doing the best because I can tell you right off the bat that anything Slipknot's done in the last 10 years haven't cared about. Mushroomhead haven't cared about. Mudvayne haven't been here. Um, there was a Hell Yeah album around that period that was really good, but they kind of came in the middle, and it's questionable whether you'd actually even call them new metal.
mhm.
But yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm gonna go with.
all right, sounds good. Uh, I don't believe I asked you in this last Q&A, but What are some of your favorite cartoons of all time?
Ooh. Give me a second to think about it. I do have a lot of answers. Hmm. See, it changed as I went on. When I was a kid, I liked Looney Tunes just like everyone else.
Hmm.
Who didn't? But I really liked the Popeye cartoon when I was a kid because I'm dating myself. I'm old. Um, uh, Batman the animated series was awesome. Little known one, Mutant League Football had a series, or actually, it might have just been called Mutant League. It had a TV series, a cartoon, and for years I hunted it. I hunted for it, couldn't find it, and then within the last like few years, somebody threw it all on YouTube. So now it's up.
Nice.
Trying to think. From there, Tiny Toons I really liked when I was younger. And then we got to Cartoon Network era where I was just becoming a teenager and I loved Dexter's Lab, Johnny
Hmm.
Bravo, Powerpuff Girls, Ed, Edd n Eddy, Courage Cowardly Dog. Um, Cow and Chicken was pretty good. I never liked Ren and Stimpy, which is a weird one. A lot of people did, but when I saw it when I was a kid, I just thought it was gross. And then I liked Rocco when I got a little older. I thought Rocco's Modern Life was good. Um, on the less like goofy side, like I liked, as I mentioned, Batman the Animated Series. I love Batman Beyond, and so many people don't. The Spider-Man cartoon from the '90s is great. Uh, Anything modern I'm thinking of is just like it feels more like an animated show than like a cartoon, like Archer, Bob's Burgers, and stuff like that. Simpsons is definitely up there because seasons 3 through 10 of The Simpsons, some of those episodes are untouchable.
Hmm.
Um, Futurama was excellent. South Park was good for a while. Uh, and I'm sure Beavis and Butthead was great. Daria was great. Uh, that weird fake reality cartoon. What was it called?
Total Drama Island.
No. It was all like there was a superhero and there was a girl that looked like Betty Boop.
Oh.
Drawn Together.
Drawn Together.
Yeah, that was awesome. Um, what's the one that you post clips of?
Undergrads.
Yeah, I liked that too. I
Mhm.
wish that had gotten to go on longer. Um, and even when I got a little older, I still thought it was good. Recess, I thought Recess was good too.
Nice.
Um,
Nice.
but yeah, I think those are my major answers.
All right. Were you a fan of Clone High?
I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen more than like an episode. I remember the clip with Manson, but that's kind of it.
Hmm. Yeah, I was just curious.
Um,
Uh,
but yeah,
all right. Okay. Excluding Lamb of God, what is a band that you were not a fan of before, but when you saw them live, you instantly became a fan?
Slipknot and Stone Sour.
Hmm.
When I saw Slipknot in 2001, I really wasn't all that much into them. I thought some of their stuff was okay, but I really wasn't all bored. And I hadn't heard anything from Iowa yet. And they absolutely blew me away. And I was like, all right, okay, I was wrong. And then I got Iowa, I got the self-titled album, and then yeah, that was it. Until they stopped being good. Um, I Five Finger Death Punch was better than I thought they were going to be. I didn't dislike them before I saw them, but they were better. Um, Walls of Jericho. I didn't
Ooh.
like Walls of Jericho until I saw him live because I was still on my I hate metalcore thing. But I actually saw him live 3 times, and they kind of eventually wore me down. And I was like, oh no, no, I'm into this now. And but yeah, by the second and third time I saw him, I was into it. Um, Trying to think of anybody else major. Uh, there's a goth rock band called Bella Morte that I had only thought was like wimpy synth pop before I saw them, but they do all they verge on like industrial rock kinda, um, but they play their songs in an almost punk way live,
Hmm.
and it blew me away when I saw them. I was like, this is Bella Morte. And then I started listening to more of the stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now. It's all right. I was wrong about my initial impressions of them. Um, and I'm sure there's others, but yeah, those are the main ones I can think of.
Okay. I was just curious because I remember hearing like because I still have yet to like hear a full Lamb of God album. So when you said that, oh, when you saw them live, it changed your mind. It's like, oh, maybe I should maybe see them live. I don't know.
They're they're quite. They have very good stage presence. They're very energetic live. Like the Randy has a very good command of the crowd. Um, but yeah, because that was during the Ashes of the Wake tour. I was really only familiar with like maybe a couple of songs, but I like didn't like their sound at that point, and then yeah, they changed my opinion, and then I started listening to them. But yeah, one to try and listen to all the way through is Sacrament. That one's awesome. Like that's the one with Redneck on it, which was a moderately popular video. But yeah, that one's really good front to back.
Hmm. Nice. Uh, so you were mentioning like sort of like a goth rock sort of bands.
Mm.
What are some of your favorite like sort of gothic industrial metal slash rock bands of all time? Could be from anything. Because I'm
Uh,
curious. I want to hear more recommendations personally.
if I kind of push the industrial scope aside, let me think. Not Christian Death, that's for one. I get recommended them all the time, and I don't think they're very good. um, Bauhaus is good.
Mhm.
Um, they're more post punk, but Killing Joke is amazing. Although they did eventually go in an industrial direction, but that wasn't until like the 90s. Um, Sisters of Mercy is very cool. And they almost have like a very light arena rock feel to them at times.
Mhm.
Like the singer looks like he really wants to be a rock star, but they're very good. Um, Early the Cult is really cool. Um, there's other ones I'm trying to think of, and I'm just forget. I don't remember how to say the name. Clan of Zymox. There's too many X's in the end. It's XYMOX. They're very good. Their album Creatures is outstanding. I did get into the gothic electronica stuff in the early 2000s a little bit, like VNV Nation, Apoptygma Berserk, Bella Morte. Um, the band with the violin, Cruise Shadows. Crux Shadows. They're very cool. They were interesting live because it's literally a singer, a person in the background playing keyboards, a live bass player, and a live violinist. It was
Hmm.
wild, but they were very good. Um, and yeah, that's kind of all I'm thinking of. I know there's other ones, but like there's obvious ones like The Cure and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, that's what I can think of for goth stuff. Oh, and they also kind of touch on industrial, but the Birthday Massacre, love them.
Great band.
And there's a couple of female fronted ones, Collide and Jackalope. They're both very cool, but very like almost pretty goth rock, um, but dark. So I vibe with it. But yeah, those are all good.
Hmm.
Listen to all of them.
Will do. Uh, what are some of your favorite female fronted alternative slash industrial slash new metal bands?
Uh, I wish they weren't so inconsistent, but OTEP. I was just talking about this the other day. Whereas like I love OTEP, but I love like three OTEP albums, and they have a lot of crappy other albums. Because one of their problems is they can write an excellent album, but if they write a bad album, usually it's bad. Jack Off Jill, um, Nocturne. The first Evanescence album is good. Uh, the one from Toxic Toy, they're cool.
Hmm.
Um, Lennon, and that's pretty much the first album because I haven't spent much time with the other ones.
Hmm.
Defenestration's first album is awesome.
Have you heard any of their other stuff?
Yes, but it didn't appeal to me quite as much.
Okay.
They went they
Also, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say they went a little bit more hardcore, and I wasn't really the biggest fan, but it's still fine.
Right. Also, Kitty doesn't count because we all know about Kitty.
Yeah, Kitty's okay.
Yeah.
Um, Kitty got better when they moved away from new metal. Honestly, their like trickle into like melodic death metal slash groove metal suited them way better. Like
Hmm.
they sound much stronger in that environment. Whereas Spit and Oracle are fine. It just they're not that strong, which
Right.
is
You could definitely tell they weren't confident.
yeah. It was very amateurish, and but that's where they were at the time. It's fine.
Hmm. For sure.
Uh, but yeah, I'd say those are the ones off the top of my head. Um, uh, I used to love them, and now I think they're okay. Lacuna Coil was used to be in there. They're another band who's very good live. Um, but they just have an issue with consistency, and their stuff hasn't aged that well, which is kind of weird. And I think it mostly comes down to the guy singer. I don't think he's very good.
Mhm.
I think Christina's great, but he just kind of boring and monotone. And so just kind of drags the songs down. He's ruining it.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's what I got off the top of my head.
Okay. Uh, I mentioned before in the last video that I was asking you your favorite live video concerts from bands. What are some of your favorite documentaries from bands?
Ooh. Um,
If you've seen any.
I'm trying to think. There was a Manson one I had for a little while. It was called Demystifying the Devil. That one was pretty good. Minus all the interviews with the Slaughter guy who just kept trashing on Manson. Um,
Mhm.
but uh, but yeah, I'll be honest. I haven't watched that many documentaries on specific bands, but I've read a litany of books about bands and genres and stuff, and that's kind of where I've gotten more like background information on certain artists. Um, if there were more documentaries that like piqued my interest about specific bands, I would definitely watch them. And perhaps I should put more like effort into like looking into it because I bet there is some stuff.
Hmm. Uh, I oh yeah. So you mentioned you like books. You did a video, and I don't know if it's still up on YouTube. that I actually was going to comment on, and I never got around to it.
Uh-huh.
But it was when you did a reading about
Uh-huh.
the the death or grindcore and stuff.
Choosing death. I tried reading it, and yeah, it was a it was a failed experiment that I could probably do now. But it was there were a bunch of reasons I didn't continue doing it. Um, One, lack of confidence. I couldn't tell you how many times I had to go back and edit what I did because I would trip over my words, I would murmur things, I would start coughing because I wasn't used to talking that much.
Mhm.
And I just was overall nervous in uh, the situation I put myself in. Whereas now, having done this for this long, I feel I'm more confident and could probably do it better. But yeah, no, it was something I was trying to try out when I was like, what are all these different things I could do with the channel? And that was an attempt, and it no, didn't work. But yeah, that was mostly on me because I love that book, and I had looked up to see if anybody had done an audiobook of it, and they had not. So that was kind of what I was trying to do. Uh,
Mhm.
Maybe I'll try. No promises. Maybe I'll try it again at some point and see if I can actually, get through a chapter instead of struggling for. I don't even remember how many pages I read. It wasn't that many.
Yeah.
I'll get myself a big chair and a pipe and a robe, and I'll just have the actual book, and I'll flip through it and read it like that.
There you go.
It'd be awesome.
You could call it talks, reading with talks.
Reading with Tox.
Yes. And speaking of reading,
Mm-hmm.
what are some of your favorite music books?
Thought you were gonna say just books. I was gonna go Battlefield Earth. Scientologists, come get me. Um, let's see. Choosing Death is a favorite. That was what pushed. It's funny that a book did it, but that's what pushed me to start checking out death metal proper. I'm looking around. Uh, there's a Cure book I have from the drummer that was pretty good, and it cataloged a lot of early stuff. But as the book goes on, you realize the drummer's an asshole, and so you're like, ugh. And then it stops at like 1990, just when the band was starting to get like proper interesting. I'm like, oh well, thanks, because he got kicked out of the band. So there's like no more Cure coverage until like he reunites for like 2 songs. I'm like, sucks. Uh, the Billy Idol book is really good. Just called Dancing with Myself.
Mhm.
Gary Newman has a book, and he redid it or updated it, so now it's like he used to have one and it ended in like 2000, but now he made a updated version of it, and now it ends like maybe 2 years ago.
Mhm.
And so yeah, it kind of covers his whole career and like the ups and downs he went through. I have a Bowie book that's amazing. I can't seem. Oh, Strange Fascination. That one's really good. I've read the Fieldy book from the Corn bassist.
Okay.
Hate hate that book. I did. By the end of that book, I didn't like him. He's a bad person. He sucks. Uh, like he's constantly like a douchebag, and like treats people around him and like his family like shit. I'm like, I don't like you. You're not a good person. Um, there's a Killing Joke book I have that's really good. There's a couple of black metal books I have that are really good. I'm trying to. I know Daniel Patterson wrote one of them. I think it's just called, sorry, Dale Patterson. It's Dayal. It's just called Black Metal Evolution of the Cult. That one's really good. I have a book from the Behemoth guy, but I haven't read it yet. I need to read that. Um, there's a Paradise Lost book called No Celebration. That one's good. I have Devin Townsend's book. I think it's only half finished. I think that's what it's called. That one was cool. And oh, Tony Iommi's book was super interesting. Um, I didn't realize he was missing fingers until I read that book, but I guess that's almost common knowledge.
Hmm.
Um, like he has a weird mechanism on his hand so he can play guitar.
Yes.
I didn't know that before I read the book.
Huh.
Um, and that's kind. Oh, I used to have this book, and I'm sure I've talked about it before, but it's from the perspective of I think it's the guitarist of Breaking Benjamin. Um, I can't remember his name. I think it's Fink is the last name. I think it's a guitarist. It's either the guitarist or the bassist, but it's one of the guys who left Lifer to join Breaking Benjamin. It's from his dad, and it's all about his kid. Like it chronicles his whole like coming to like growing up and then like starting in bands, and then it chronicles all of Lifer and Strangers with Candy.
Ah,
And then the beginning then Breaking Benjamin up to and through We Are Not Alone. So it's really cool, and it gave me a lot more background information on like Lifer and all them, and even a little bit of my downfall after the fact because he was still in uh, Scranton Wilkes-Barre, like in that area, so he would run into Nick every once in a while. Um, so yeah, I thought that was really neat, and from a slightly different perspective. Um, but yeah, those are the books I can think of off that I'm seeing that I really liked.
a lot of really cool books. I have to check those out. I got Barnes
Or
and Noble
reading.
near me, so
There's a what?
I got Barnes and Noble near me.
But buy it offline. It's way cheaper.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to buy stuff from Barnes and Noble until I like started to realize I could just buy stuff used online for half or sometimes quarter of the price instead of going to Barnes and Noble and being like, "Oh yeah, 25 $30 for this book. Thanks." No. I don't want to do that no more. I'm cheap.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Earlier, I asked a question on the opposite spectrum of things.
Hmm.
What is a band that you saw live, or a band that you really liked that you saw live that you instantly weren't really a fan of afterwards when you saw them?
Ooh. Um really com-
Excluding Cold.
oh. And Killer in the Star. Um, you asking that question did trigger something to the other question. Monstrosity, I never liked, and then I saw them at Maryland Death Fest this year, and they were amazing. And I was like, oh, I was wrong. Okay, fine, fair enough.
Okay.
um, Bands I liked and then saw live. Fear Factory was disappointing, but I feel I've mentioned that.
Yeah.
But it didn't really change my opinion of them because I've also had people tell me they were crap live. Uh, Edema was pretty boring when I saw them. And it was original incarnation. It was 2002. Uh, Flaw was kind of boring when I saw him live. Might have also been the same year. It was the same year. Double boring at Ozfest.
Oh,
Um, Trying to think who didn't grab me. I was disappointed with Nocturnus when I saw them live, but that they were super sloppy, and they're like technical death metal with keyboards and stuff, and boy could they not pull any of that off. I was like, oh. And they were outside, and it was in the daylight, and there was wind. I'm like, ugh, this is not a good. But those things shouldn't be excuses because Atheist came on right after and blew them out of the goddamn water. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think of anybody who like I liked and then saw and then was like, nah. Because I'll still occasionally listen to the first two Cold albums, but or You're the Spider's okay. Um, um, yeah, I don't know. I think there's probably other ones, but those are kind of it that I'm thinking of. Um, because there's definitely been bands that I've seen live weren't good, but there's also bands that like I mean a lot of them were bands I'd never heard of, so I had no dog in the fight when I saw them, or knew very little about, or already didn't like them. And then because there were a few who I saw at the two Maryland Death Fest I went to who I didn't like, but I was like, I'm here, I'll watch them for a little bit, and then I was like, yeah, this is meh.
You didn't do anything.
Nah, didn't change my opinion. Um, but yeah, those are pretty much the ones that are coming to my mind.
Okay, cool.
Oh, and on that, I saw Mastodon live. They sucked. Good. I don't like Mastodon. Proved my point.
I heard Mastodon from I think one of the Tony Hawk game soundtracks, and I kind of have to agree. And
I don't like their vibe. There's something about them because they're in a pocket that I should like. But I just don't. And it doesn't help that the singer slash like guitarist constantly talks about how he doesn't like metal. And I'm like, okay, why are you in a metal band? Um, Trying to be one of the more popular metal bands in the world, singing songs about Moby Dick. That's Ahab's shtick. Um, but yeah, those are the bad bands that are coming to my mind. There's so many I've probably forgotten because they were bad, and I was like, meh, get out of my brain.
I keep forgetting, but when did you see Fear Factory?
Oh boy, I have the date somewhere, but it was during the Ash. So you could probably pinpoint it. It's got to be like 2004, 2005,
Okay.
because it was Ashes of the Wake was out and Archetype was out. Those were the two touring albums. So like 2004 ish probably. And Children of Bodom was the opener. Um, but yeah, so yeah, somewhere between 2004 2005, like a year after I saw Strapping Young Lad.
Okay. Do you like that album archetype?
Yes, but I don't like it's kind of stands on its own because it has a very different sound compared to everything that came before it.
Mm-hmm.
And but I feel it maybe it's just because of the lineup. It does kind of lock in together with Transgression for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually like Transgression a little bit more because I think it's more interesting, whereas a lot of people kind of crap on it because of how soft it is. And admittedly, there are a lot of songs on there that they don't sound like Fear Factory songs, but they're good
No.
songs. And then yeah, that was kind of the beginning of the end for me because after that, Fear Factory kind of lost their luster for me. Outside of Genexus, which I have some weird love with, like it somehow hit all the markers, whereas a lot of the other albums around it didn't. But yeah, Archetype's cool, especially the title track. Title track's awesome, and Slave Labor, lovely songs.
Mm-hmm. Even Cyber Waste I like.
Nothing you say matters to
You
us.
want?
Fuck you. Yes. Yeah. I had a friend who didn't listen to metal who asked why the singer sounded like a dinosaur. I thought that was pretty funny. Like, Bert, he does kind of sound like a dinosaur. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, what are you? I think I asked you. No, I didn't. I was trying to think of okay, favorite video games. What are some of your favorite video game soundtracks? And it could be either music made for the original game, like in-house or whatever, or music from bands that were in the game.
Okay, so like a Final Fantasy score or a Tony Hawk soundtrack. Those are both
Yes.
okay. Got you. Got you. The first three Tony Hawk soundtracks are all awesome,
Mm-hmm.
and the closest you'll ever get me to punk. Outside of my love for Bad Religion, which I still don't understand because I really don't like punk. Um, trying to think of other soundtracks like that where I really like Gran Turismo 2's soundtrack. I thought that was very cool. Um, Demolition Racer, which we've talked about, I really like that soundtrack. Uh, whatever the twisted it shouldn't even count, but whatever the Twisted Metal game is that has like almost all of Hellbilly Deluxe, as it might be Twisted Metal 3. Um, and in the same breath, Nightmare Creatures 2, because same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I love that they just like, let's just do Rob Zombie as a soundtrack. That's pretty cool. Um, and as far, and I'm sure there's other ones, but as far as like actual scores, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 9, I don't remember Final Fantasy 12. I'm sure it's good, but I'm remembering those two because I spent so much time with them. Star Ocean 2, no, Star Ocean 3 is lovely. Uh, Silent Hill 1 through 4, awesome. I fucking love Akira Yamaoka. He's such a good writer. And an influence to that first Backwards Funeral album that's like very uh industrial and mechanical sounding. Because I was like, I can do this. I can't, but I did my best. Um, but yeah, trying to think. The Horizon games are very good, very like cinematic. Um, Days Gone has a very cool soundtrack. It's very both atmospheric and because it's like uh southerny, it's got like this southern guitar twang to it. Not so much in a, I guess in a light country way, but it's also like dark, and so I vibe with that. Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, those are all good. Especially New Vegas. That soundtrack's awesome. Um Super Meat Boy has a super underrated soundtrack. A lot of the modern platformer games have really good soundtracks. I guess they felt they needed them. Like Celeste has a beautiful soundtrack. Um, what's the other one? Shovel Knight has a great soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Mega Man 1, 2, 3, 4, and X. Those are all awesome. And those are the ones I'm most familiar with. So those are what I'm going to say. I'm sure there's good music on the other games too, because they had very good music writers. Um, Doom 1 and 2, Duke Nukem 3D. I love the Doom rip-off songs where they're like, yeah, we made our own music. You're like, this is clearly Walk from Pantera. I can hear it. But I'm okay with it because it sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like that. I think it's Quake 1 that Trent Reznor did. That one's really good. Um, but yeah, there are so many good game soundtracks. And we already talked about it. Vice City. Vice City's a wonderful soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are some of the ones off the top of my head. There's probably others too, but yeah.
Right. I personally like a lot of some of the other GTA soundtracks, like GTA San Andreas has a good soundtrack.
I never played that much of San Andreas. Because I put so much time into Vice City and 3 that by the time San Andreas came out, I played it and I was like, oh, this is the same game. Okay. And I played it for a little bit, but like I never got super far into it. But then when GTA 4 and 5 came out, oh, I was all about it. And those soundtracks are really good too.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when they started implementing like the full-on radio stations and stuff. And it was such nonsense. Loved
Mm-hmm.
it. But yeah,
Uh,
You give me a good horror game with a nice soundtrack, I might even ignore if the gameplay's bad. Because I'm good soundtrack. Give it to me. Oh,
Okay.
I'd even mention the Resident Evil games. The Resident Evil games have good soundtracks too,
Yeah, yeah, they definitely do.
especially the basement theme from Resident Evil One.
Hmm. Uh, there was a video that you made that uh, it was one of the only times you've ever done it, and it was when you covered a Stabbing Westward song. And I really liked your cover of it. Will you do any more in the future?
You talking about
Like,
the singing one?
yeah.
I did. I didn't do Stabbing Westward. I did ours.
Oh, okay. I thought you did a Stabbing Westward song.
There is a Stabbing Westward cover, but it was musical, and it was very okay. Um, I don't think I've done a Stabbing Westward vocal one. His range is wild. Um, and I've tried to in my own time do Stabbing Westward covers, and I have a hard time going from his. I can do like the less chorusy parts because my tone is very nasally, so I can hit it. But when he goes to like the chorus, he like almost screams but doesn't. It's very like it's super high pitched. I can't pull it off. Like anytime I've tried, like my voice cracks. Which is funny that I said that I did an R's thing, but I was able to stabilize how it was. Um, I had thought about doing more, but I would need the right living situation. If I had my own house, sure, I'll do covers all the time. But I'm in an apartment, I can't make that much noise, so I'm kind of like, I did it at the time because where I was living, I didn't have anybody else in the house, and my camera went blurry for some reason. Stop going blurry.
Stop.
Um, but yeah, I did that when I had a house all to myself, so I felt fine making a lot of noise. But yeah, I'm super uh, almost shy about my level of volume, especially when doing something like as vulnerable as singing.
Mhm.
So yeah, it would have to be a different environment for me to do it. But I'm not against it in the future if things work out where I have my own place, like and not direct neighbors below and next to me.
Okay, I think that'd be pretty cool, honestly. I'd like to hear more. What bands would you cover vocally if you were to?
Um, Ones that I feel I could stay in the range of. I've tried to go outside of my range, and I kind of know where it is now, and I've tried to push past it, and I kind of can't. So without like real training, which I'm not putting that much effort in. Um, so I would stay in the probably the new metal wheelhouse, the industrial wheelhouse. I can do your coal chambers. I can do Fear Factory. Um, Trying to think. Fear Factory was on one of the bands that actually I learned how to scream from. I used to do vocal covers of songs from Digimortal, and I would put all my effort into when he went aggressive, so I could learn how to get those tones. Um, and then Cradle of Filth, obviously. Um, but yeah, I would cover those things. I'm not against covering softer songs, but it would have to be in a range I'm comfortable with. Um, Trying to think of like I could probably pull off uh maybe like Goo Goo Dolls stuff. Like and I love their songs.
Hmm.
Um as long as I don't have to sing in a falsetto or go super guttural or low, I'm kind of all right cuz I've never been good at I don't have a good death growl. I can scream, but I can do a low, but I can't hold it for very long. Like, and it has to be in one tone. I can't shift it. I've never been good. I can shift a scream. I've been pretty good at that.
Mhm.
So yeah, so typo negatives out as much as I love them. I can't pull that off.
Mhm.
I can't go that low. Yeah, that's about it. I could actually with that I could probably pull off him, but
Mm.
but yeah, no, like that sort of stuff would be what I'm into. If I ever come, and maybe I'll try stabbing Westard at a point. Nine Inch Nails I can do because he has a very nasally tone, and he's not really. He sings, but he doesn't. He's in that like I'm kind of a singer, but I'm kind of not thing. I could do Manson. That's easy. Um, we were prepping to be a Manson cover band for a little while, so I'm disappointed we never recorded anything, but we used to practice those things all the time. We had like a 15 song set list. Um,
That would have been cool.
yeah, no, and we had a good selection of songs too from a bunch of different albums. Mostly the early stuff. Usually because the guy who was playing guitar was mostly familiar with uh, Hollywood, Antichrist, Mechanical, and Smells Like Children. So that was where we basically stuck to.
Have
Uh,
you ever heard like any like cool like Manson cover bands?
no, I've seen a bunch of them like on YouTube, but I don't think I've ever listened to one that like really blew me away. I'm not opposed to going to see one. And I've seen some bad ones on YouTube
Yeah.
where I'm like, calm, just chill it. Where they're just like trying to do the shock thing, but they don't actually have the musical acumen to pull it off. I'm like, this isn't. You're missing the point.
hmm
Shut up, bad man.
I think vocally though, honestly, from what I heard of you, you actually sound more like I would say Wednesday 13 almost.
I can do a Wednesday 13
Oh yeah,
because
you easily.
one of the bands I was emulating near the end of us doing metal on the Connecticut River was this gothic metal band from Finland called Sentenced. Like I can do his tone really well. He does he I wouldn't call what he does clean vocals, but he doesn't scream, but it's very like uh partially spoken but with power, and that's kind of where my range is. Like I can pull it off. But yeah, the snarl that Wednesday 13 does, I could do that shit.
Yeah.
I'll be buried by Christmas.
What's your favorite Wednesday 13 album?
Skeletons. But I do love Fang Bang and Transylvania 90210 a lot. Those are my three favorites right there. And everything else I've heard afterwards is kind of just okay, but I love those three, and those will carry me. And I love those albums more than the stuff he did with Murder Dolls, though I think Murder Dolls is okay. And I've never heard the other bands that he was in. The Frankenstein Drag Queens, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard those. I know he has like 10 side bands though.
Oh yeah. Quite a workaholic.
Yeah, but
Um,
that's not a bad thing.
yeah, for sure. I don't know if you would count this in the last question or last video. I did mention live. What were some of your favorite live videos from bands? Do you have like favorite live albums? Like not necessarily like videos from bands, but like live audio recordings?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Last Tour on Earth. Um, I haven't gone out of my way to get a live album in so long. I'm trying to think. Lamb of God's Philadelphia is really good. Um, and I think that's from the Ashes of the Wake tour. Uh, Nine Inch Nails. And All That Could Have Been. Um, God, I'm having to dig back here because like I couldn't tell you the last time I like sat down and listened to like a proper like live album from a band. But there was a period of time where I really liked them. What's the first Slipknot one? Is it Disaster Pieces?
Yeah.
That one's really good. Mudvayne's the one with the pill on it. It's like I don't think it's called Live in Peoria, but that's where they recorded it.
Yeah.
That one's good. The lot it's not a singular band, but the live Ozfest 2001 album,
Mhm.
awesome. Uh, trying to think. I used to have a lot of bootlegs. Um, I'm not a big fan of Guns, God, and Government. I think it's kind of boring. And maybe that has something to do with the fact that the DVD didn't have any backstage stuff, which we talked about in the Manson episode, and it annoyed me. Um, but I don't think it's a very good set. I'm just kind of like, it's all right. Strappy Young Lad has one. Uh, for those a boot to rock, that one's good. um, Hypocrisy destroys Whacken. That one's really good. Cryptopsy's one is ridiculous. It's None So Live, I think. Yeah, because it's a counterpoint to None So Vile. Uh, there's got to be other ones that I really liked, but yeah, those are the ones coming off the top of my head. Gary Newman has like 10. Whatever the one he did for the Berserker tour, that one's really good, but I'm forgetting it might be White Noise. That one's really good. But yeah, those and I'm sure there's a Bowie one in there somewhere. Used to have a Megadeth one called Rude Awakening. That was pretty cool. The Metallica one where they have with the symphony S&M. That one's good.
Mhm.
Didn't you go to the second one?
No.
I talked to somebody who went to one of them. I couldn't, but they were from California, so I couldn't remember who. Okay, so it wasn't you then. But yeah, somebody I talked to went to the live S&M, the second one, which is wild.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, those are the ones I'm thinking of.
Okay, cool. Uh, of all the videos that you've done on your YouTube channel, what is your favorite uh game that you've done a Let's Play on?
Oh, um, now favorite game that I also Let's played, or favorite game that like the best time I had playing it, like the best Let's Play I had.
The best Let's Play you had.
Okay. Um, that's gonna have to be because I was gonna say because I did play Silent Hill 1 for a little bit, but that Let's Play kind of sucked. Um, the most fun I remember having, and it's between two, and one's done actually really well on the channel, and people still watch it to this day, and one did really badly, and nobody watches it except for the guy who was also in the video with me, and we talk about it once every couple of years. Um, the one that uh, the one that did well was this platformer puzzle game called Life Goes On, where
Mhm.
you're all these knights, and your goal is to get through the level, but to stop certain mechanisms, you have to kill the knight. And so you kill the knight, and then another one respawns, and then you basically go through the level with all these dead corpses of the knights before you in the different level, and the goal is to get to the end of the level with as few deaths as you can. Um, that I played that with James, and some of the things of us sitting there laughing our asses off trying to figure out how to do it while just throwing dead body after dead body at these spike pits and stuff, being like, I don't know, let's just build a pile of corpses and climb on it. It'll work. Um, but yeah, that was super fun. And then us playing Metal Gear Solid 3 through was a load of fun because we talked a whole lot of shit. And that was my first time. He played it, I didn't play it. And that was a rare time on the channel for us, for me, where I was like, you play this. And so I got to watch him play a game he'd beaten 20 times and just masterfully made his way through. And it was nonsensical fun. And I'm still mad that he didn't eat the bird from that one boss that there is a possibility of doing. There's a guy who you fight. I can't remember his name, but you have a sniper battle with this guy in the jungle, and he has a bird, like a parrot, and it's called Snake Eater. So in the game, you can eat various animals to get health back and stuff like that, and you can get close enough to the guy to grab his bird and eat it, and he couldn't do it, and I was so mad. I was like, "Do it! Eat the bird!" Tried so hard, couldn't do it. But yeah, no, those are the two that come to mind. My favorite one that I did by myself. Oh, actually, you know what? Because it was so hard, and because I felt so good, and the evidence is there that I beat the goddamn game. When I played Super Meat Boy on Let's Play, there's a few episodes that are have no talking, and then there's a bunch near the end that do have talking. And I did it with my friend Jess at the time, and one of the ones where I'm talking is when I finally beat that goddamn game. It was so hard, and I did it. So that evidence exists. But solo, I had a lot of fun with the Shovel Knight DLC, Plague Knight. That was a lot of fun, except for that one episode where I lost my goddamn mind because I kept losing the boss fight.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun with that series too. That was great. Yeah, those are the ones that come to mind.
Nice, nice. Uh, what do you feel is a underrated video on your channel?
All of them. Go watch them right now. Watch them 1,000 times. I don't know. It's weird for me to say it about my own stuff. Because I guess comparatively, if you really want to look at it, all my stuff's underrated because I don't get that many views. But some things that I wish had gotten more love. I wish that the Metal Gear Solid series had gotten more love. But like recently, I mean, there's tons of albums I put up. I wish my own stuff got more love. It doesn't. And no one wants to listen to the Backwards Funeral. Dun dun dun. I wish it's weird. I wish the Memorage interview episodes got more like views, and they really haven't. Even the first one didn't get that many views. Whereas the one I did with Santiago, that still has more views than every one of them. And it's almost at 400 now. It's crazy. 400 people want to see me and Santiago attempt to have a conversation in the first episode of Toxcast, or Tox Talk, as it was then. But yeah, it's weird to think of anything I do as underrated. Like, because I literally, I'm just, for the most part, I'm doing it and just putting it up and being like, hey, what happens, happens. But yeah, everyone go watch my stuff. Love me. Give me love. Why don't you love me?
2,000 subs, come on.
Oh, I thought you were going to bring up something. I was like, it's like 2014. I'm like, no.
I wish. Speaking of the YouTube channel, I noticed your older videos, or you've changed your YouTube channel name so many times.
Yeah, it's gonna stay where it is now.
Yeah. You originally at one point, I believe when the channel first started, and correct me if I'm wrong, it used to be called the Carnage Report.
Shut up.
Why was it called the Carnage Report?
Because my last name is Carr.
Oh.
Yeah. I I thought I was so clever. And
I think
you know what's really funny? And I didn't notice this until years later, and maybe it was just in the back of my mind. When I was playing through Halo recently with my buddy, where we beat the first two Halo games for the first time, and then we beat three again. The thing at the end of each level where it shows you all your stats, like your kills and your deaths and all that sort of stuff,
Mhm.
that's called the Carnage Report.
Oh.
And I don't know if it wasn't deliberate. It was not intentional. Um, but yeah, I don't have a good answer for you. And you know what? There was a name before the Carnage Report. I don't remember what it was though, because the Carnage Report wasn't the very first thing. There was something else beforehand. Um, but yeah, I don't know why I was trying to, because at the time it was a Let's Play channel. That's what I was trying to do, and I was trying to stand out, and I was looking at all these other people's channels, and so I was trying to find something that like fit me, but also kind of worked as a channel name and wasn't just my name, and wasn't like something that was like the Game Grumps or Angry Video Game Nerd or like something of that ilk. And I always in the back of my head wanted to do more than just let's plays. Like it was never going to be I'm just going to do one thing. And that's been a pro and a con since I started. Like I'm all over the place, which divides my audience and I know that, but I'm going to do what I want. You can't stop me. Um but yeah, no, I literally I probably sat down for a while thinking of different things I could use, and I'm sure I used John, tried to use John in something. I'm sure I uh tried to use Car and stuff, and and that's what I ended up on. And it's really funny because for the longest time, the guy who was on the channel with me, James, he did the Metal Gear Solid. He did a bunch of co-op Let's Plays with me. He refused to call it the Carnage Report, and he just call John Nation, and so he because he thought it'd be funnier if it was called Carnation. I was like, that's a flower. So instead of him going along and being like, yeah, okay, it's the Carnage Report, he would just call me Nation. Like it's like Nation. I'm like, shut up. You're ruining it. But I should have leaned into it. Because it is funnier. But yeah, no, the channel's changed so many times. Uh Me thinking that changing the channel name is gonna somehow make people go, oh, that I like that name. Now I'm gonna pay attention to that channel I wasn't paying attention to before. And that's not how it works.
Yeah, because I remember like I did a birthday video for you, and you changed it since then. It was Detox 2, the Detox World, which eventually became the other channel.
Yeah. The Dead channel.
uh
It was John's Dungeon of Whatever for a while.
yes, that's right.
I think that was John's Dungeon of Whatever before I came back.
Yes.
Um, yeah, because I think that was where you commented and you were like, You were like, "Oh, you're still making videos," and like I had literally just been taking clips from PS4, and it gave me the upload to YouTube option. I was like, "Yeah, okay."
I don't think you even saw the comment until years later.
I saw no that one I had seen. It was the older ones I hadn't seen.
Okay.
Until because yeah, for some reason I don't remember what inspired me to log in because I hadn't logged in the longest time. It was what like 4 or 5 years. Um,
Mhm.
and yeah, and then I saw all the comments. I was like, people commenting on my stuff. What the fuck is this? I was like, who is this Anthony guy? Likes my stuff. Who likes my stuff? But yeah, no, it's gone through so many. And what is it right now? Is it Entertainment Factory?
Yes.
Detox's Music and Entertainment Factory. I think
Mhm.
that's a fair name. That works.
Mhm.
Um, plus now I'm all medicated and my head's normal, so maybe I won't be as crazy and go change my name every week. Here's to hoping.
Yes. Uh,
Um, any more weird questions about my channel?
uh, maybe if I think of some later. Uh,
Here's
going back to you mentioned earlier, when mentioning live albums, bootlegs. Are there any like live recordings of bands out there, or you may not even exist, not know exist that you'd like to see pop up one day?
motherfucking Apartment 26. There has to be live footage somewhere. Don't lie to me and say there's not. I've asked the Liberated tape archive guy several times. I asked the guy who sent him Brad Nolan, I think. I asked him. I asked another bootlegger. I'm like, God damn it! How come nobody? And they were like, Yeah, we saw Apartment 26. I'm like, why didn't you record it?
Uh, I know.
Um, yeah. So Apartment 26, Sinistar finally showed up. That shocked the shit out of me when I saw
Hmm.
that. Is there live footage of Vision of Disorder from the Bliss to Devastation era?
I'm not 100% sure.
If there isn't, I want that. I want more Godhead from the other eras. There's like one Godhead bootleg up. I want a good quality Dreaming bootleg. That'd be awesome. All the ones that are up are like single songs and they're recorded on a phone and they sound like shit.
Mm.
Um, there's a bunch of industrial bands who I'd love to see Shotgun Messiah from the Violent New Breed era. Oh, I'd love to see that. Um, there's God Lives Underwater stuff. There's a good amount of Godflesh. Um, more Sister Machine Gun would be cool. More Machines of Loving. I think there's like one Machines of Love and Grace thing. There's one Machines of Love and Grace song on YouTube that's a live song. I want a full show. It's what
Mhm.
I want. They're so good sounding. There's like one Misery Loves Company show from like '98. Give me a Your Vision Was Time. Never. Your Vision Was Never Mine to share live video. There's other new metal ones too. You posted a drag pipe one that was cool. Um, Grade 8, I'd like to see it. Even though I did see them, I would like to see a live video. Just for the memory. I want a full show from the Felons and Revolutionaries era of Dope. I don't know if that exists.
They do.
They do? Okay, cool.
Yes. In
Um,
fact, if as a matter of fact, also with Dope, their first shows were recorded too.
like pre-signed?
Yes.
That I'm interested in. I want to go watch those. Do they sound like crap?
No, they haven't even been released. I know of a collector
Oh,
who has them.
oh,
So,
I want to see them.
yeah, I'll try to get a hold of this person who has them. We'll see. Anyway, any others?
I'm sure there's other ones, but that one guy did release the full Lollipop Lust Kill show. That was cool. Uh, is there a Supercharger tour show from Machine Head?
I don't know.
I know there's Hella Live, but I don't really count that
Hmm.
because that seemed like that was like a greatest hits show. They were doing that for a live album. But I want like something in the middle of the Supercharger tour where they're playing like the weird shit from the album. Um, yeah, those are the ones coming to mind off the top of my head. Uh, More Reveille Bleed the Sky era stuff would be cool. A full Neurotica set would be cool. We do have a full No One set. That's nice. We did finally start getting Skeletons era Nothing Face shows. Uh, and yeah, there's probably a ton who have never put out stuff. If DeLorean ever played live, which maybe they didn't, there's no live footage of them. I would love to see some live footage of them. And Worm Phlegm, because that would be weird as fuck. We're gonna play our 35-minute song now. Okay, cool, do it. But yeah, those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head.
uh, I kind of wonder, do any like 2001 Stabbing Westward shows exist?
Oh yeah.
Video?
Ooh, that's a good question. Because I know there's 3 full bootlegs. Because I have them. Yeah, because their sets were very heavy-handed with the new album. So they were playing like even like a 9-song set. 6 of the songs would be from the new album, and then they'd play like "Shame," "What Do I Have to Do," and "Save Yourself."
Oh, okay.
And then they play like all the weird shit. But yeah, they'd always "High" was the opener almost all the time, and that's a great opener. I fucking love that song. Um, they would always do "Perfect." I fucking hate that song. And they did "I Remember" once. That was weird. And there was one song that I love, and they didn't play it. But they played "Happy," and why? I think they played "Television" as well, and that's cool. "Breathe You In" might be the song I'm thinking of. I don't think they ever did "Breathe You In" live, which they should have. Like, I love that song. It's such a good album. Like, it's not the same Stabbing Westward. I understand that, but it was a very good like pop rock album.
Yeah. Adding on to that, or bootlegs, one recording, and I hope it was recorded. Uh, if someone recorded, what was the Irish new metal band with the guy with the red hair?
Psychofly.
Psychofly. There's this video recording of Psychofly, or supposedly at Woodstock 1999.
I've heard about that. And yeah, I would love to see that. Yeah, you know what? All the Woodstock 99 videos that don't exist, we want those. Where's the Reveille Woodstock 99 set? Yeah. How are those not out somewhere? How many people were at Woodstock?
Right? Yeah, I mean, there had to have been some video
The
recording.
Full Devil Jacket one is out.
Yes.
And that one's awesome because they played Green Iron Fist live, and I was like, yes, it's like their best song. But yeah, no, I'd love to see the Psychofly live set because they don't even have that much live stuff on YouTube.
No.
Maybe like a song here or there. Ooh, a live Lennon full set would be cool.
Yeah, good point. There aren't any really.
Yeah, I don't believe so. Or is there any Defenestration live stuff?
Yeah, but it kind of sounds like shit.
Okay, I know Ethan just saw them.
Really?
Yeah, he went and saw because they did a reunion show. He met them. He has pictures with them, and they even shouted him out on their Instagram.
I didn't know they were reunited. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just for one show, but they were like, yeah. So we met a fan today who wasn't even alive when our album came out. It's like, yeah, he loves you guys. Um, but yeah, no, I don't think they're ever going to get to the U.S. even if they do more reunion shows. But yeah, that's what happens with UK bands, unfortunately.
Yeah. Uh, what are some bands that you would like to see come to the US that have never played in the US that you know of?
Ugh. hmm. DeLorean. Um, if Wormphlegm ever played live, there's no way they made it to the U.S. There's no way they even made it out of their own country. Um, I don't think Tyranny's ever been here. That'd be cool. Uh, Fly more.
Oh yeah.
I want a clone corn tour. Get me Fly more, Clown, Chaosium.
I think so.
Who are the other corn copycats? Edema.
Yeah.
Edema can headline, so they'll get 50 people. Um, yeah, I don't know who. I'm trying to think of other bands from around the world who've never been to the U.S. Uh, I don't know if Playmos had to have come to the U.S., right? They were popular enough. Not over here, but
I want to say they played like one or two shows here, but I'd have to check.
I feel they'd be fun live.
Oh,
Um,
oh yeah.
but yeah, any of the little tiny European new metal bands who were never big enough to get out of the that part of the world. I'll take all of them. Come over. We'll have Ozfest again with I don't know bands who sell 100 copies of their album. Do it,
Mhm.
do it, Ozzy.
Yeah. Uh, okay. What else can we do? Oh, do you have I think we the last Q&A video we talked about favorite foods. Do you have like a favorite desserts?
Angel food cake,
Hmm.
um, preferably with whipped cream and strawberries. Um, chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. Um, and also mint chocolate chip. No, wait. Chocolate chip cookie dough, but pistachio ice cream. Love it.
Hmm.
Uh, key lime pie, if it's done right. I don't want no bullshit. Um, um, it's not really a dessert, but I love watermelon. Um, I could just eat it for a meal, really. Uh, yeah, those are the main ones I'm thinking of. I love all those. None of them
Yeah.
are good for me, but I'm gonna eat them. I don't care.
Yeah, same. On an unrelated note, what are some of your favorite horror films?
Uh, oh crap! I made a list of this, didn't I? Alien, The Descent.
Hmm.
Oh no. What's the one I told you to watch? Hell House,
Oh, House.
LLC. Um, it's not so much horror, but I really like watching it. I guess it is horror. I love Freddy vs. Jason, and I don't care. Um, the first Final Destination is awesome.
Hmm.
Um, the one with the oh my god, what is it called? It's the crime writer. He moves into a house and he finds video footage. Sinister.
Hmm.
Sinister's good. Jaws is good. Anaconda's good. The first Piranha from like the 70s is good. Piranha 2's hilarious. Cuz I can fly. Um ooh, an underrated one and I'm counting it as horror cuz it is. Pitch Black.
Hmm.
Um whereas all the other Riddick movies they're fine. Um
Did you mention The Mist?
oh, I love The Mist. That ending is so good.
Hmm.
uh, um, yeah, I wish Stephen King had more good movies. He doesn't. There's a few, but like The Mist is really good. Um,
What was that one where the couple like are in that house and like they take care of this boy? You told me to watch it.
oh my God. Vivarium.
Vivarium, yes.
Ah, so fucked up. Never
Uh-huh.
having kids, or living,
Yes.
or living in the suburbs. Scary. Um, I'm gonna dig a hole and die. Um, yeah, vivarium's fucked. Uh
As above, so below.
oh god, that one's good too. And the tunnel, that one's good too.
Hmm.
Um, the first Predator verges on horror, just a little bit,
Hmm.
and I love that movie. Uh, honestly, the first Terminator verges on horror a little bit. Not
Hmm.
T2, obviously not. That's a
No.
full blown action movie, but Terminator 1's kind of scary.
Hmm.
um, but yeah, those are the ones coming. I know I'm missing a bunch, but those are the ones coming to my head. Oh, and Feast if you want something like messy. Feast is good.
Okay.
Or what was the? Have you watched The Void yet?
The Void, the Void. I don't think so.
Oh, uh, that one's fucked up and like gory. It's I don't really like gory movies. The Void is like, what the hell is happening? Like it's such a it's I'm okay with the gore because I'm like, what sort of fucking Cthulhu ass nightmare shit is this? But it's awesome. Um, but yeah, the Void's really good too. If you the Void and Feast are really good messy movies. All the Feast movies.
Okay, right on.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's John and horror. Horror.
okay. Do you like any comedy movies?
No. No laughing. Um yes, but I have a history of liking stupid comedy movies. Um
Me too.
Zoolander, Kung Pao, um oh, what's the football one? Adam Sandler. What's it called?
Longest Yard,
What? No, not that one. I do like Longest Yard. Waterboy.
Waterboy.
Um, I like both Longest Yards. The old one's good too.
Hmm.
Um, all the Ernest movies.
Hmm.
Trying to think of I can. God, I haven't regularly watched comedies in so long, but I've watched so many. Um, the first three Police Academy movies are really good, and then who cares? But more Bobcat Goldthwait. Um, Cool Runnings. Slightly racist. Um, I'm trying to think. Yeah, there was like such a run of like really dumb movies I liked. Mystery Men's pretty good. Um, I don't know why I'm looking over there. I'm probably not going to see any comedies. Roll off some of your favorite comedies. Maybe something will trigger.
Uh, Tommy Boy's pretty good. That's one I usually mention.
Oh, all the Farley movies, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, Airheads.
Airheads is a great movie. Uh, yeah, most Adam Sandler films. Big Daddy,
Oh yeah, Big Daddy's. I haven't seen Big Daddy in so long. Happy Gilmore, fucking love.
Happy Gilmore.
Billy Madison, I'm burnt out on. I saw it so many times when I was younger. I had so many friends who were like, Billy Madison's my favorite movie. So anytime we were over at their house, we'd see it. So I've seen it like 50 times. I'm like, I'm good. I don't want to see this anymore.
I'm kind of the same way with Home Alone because my brother.
God, I haven't seen the Home Alone movies in forever. But yeah, the first two Home Alones are really good. I actually really like. I like the second one more. The
Me
weird
too.
bird lady.
Hmm.
Uh, Jim Carrey had a good run. Um, love the Ace Ventura movies. Uh, Cable Guy's underrated, even though it verges on comedy and is more like him trying to be slightly more serious.
Hmm.
Um, does Godzilla '98 count? Because I love that movie. It's kind of funny. It's a lot of fish.
Yes. All right.
Uh, okay. What else? Oh yeah. So I think we had this discussion before, but not
Mm-hmm.
on camera. But
Mm-hmm.
what what are some bands that have lost media, like new metal bands, it could be or anything that you would like to find or hope pops up one day?
Oh, we're so far down the rabbit hole here. This is another thing that there's a list somewhere. Uh, I want those Factory 81 demos.
Yes.
Um, I'd like all of that Swake album. That'd be cool. Reverse Flowing Blood.
Hmm.
Um, even though that one guy argues with me that those aren't actually songs on the album, those are demos. But he's basing that off of a Melomono Addicto upload, which has even less traction on like the internet search area. I'm like, what if he just made that up? So I don't know. Um, we're all telling lies. Um, I learned today that there's apparently a 2003 or 2004 Down the Sun EP that came
Really?
out. Yeah, somebody was posting stuff about it from their website that like had like it had like 8 songs on it and had like sample clips and stuff like that. And I was like, I did not know this existed. So there's a good chance that's never gonna get found. Um, who else? Who's they got the Nerve Pitch album. What's something I want? I want that stupid Hope Sick demo again. I tried because I know the only person who probably would have it is the drag pipe singer, and I reached out to him on Instagram, and I've commented on his stuff before asking about it, but I directly reached out to him on Instagram and he didn't respond to me. Um, but yeah, he had a band after Dragpipe broke up called Hope Sick that sounded like Dragpipe, and they had like 5 or 6 songs on MySpace, and they're just gone. I used to have it, but that was my the hard drive that had it died, so nobody else seems to have it, so it's just kind of gone.
Oh, sucks.
Yeah, and if he doesn't respond, I'm never gonna hear it again. And there's a probably a good chance he doesn't have it, like because like there's a like if you're like a busy dude like and you move around a lot, you might not hold on to everything. especially if you're not like crazy computer savvy. Uh, what else? Oh, just because I'm interested, because they keep talking about it, I'd like to hear the stupid Slipknot album that got recorded that isn't coming out. The uh something window, dirty
Yeah, the
window, outside the window.
look inside your window or something like that.
Yeah, that one. I want to hear that. Um, there's got to be other stuff. Uh, though I would love to hear studio recordings of those couple of Reveille songs that they played right before they broke up at that. There's a live show of them. There's two songs that they play. One's called Nothing No One, and I'm forgetting the name of the other one. But they were played live at their like farewell show, and then but there were no studio recordings ever put out, and then they broke up. I'd like to hear those. Um, apparently there's only clip parts of it, but apparently Bowie was working on a second part to Outside, which there's traces of it. You can find parts, but
Hmm.
I wish there had been a whole thing that came out. But I mean, I love Earthling, so it's fine.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm sure there's other weird, obscure stuff that just maybe it'll come out one day. There's so many like Joe Astley one song uploads where I'm like, this is cool. We may never hear anything else from this band.
Yeah.
The fucking the new metal A to Z list is filled with so many one song bands. It's crazy. Ugh, and it's not stopping.
Uh-huh.
But yeah,
Uh,
that's what I got.
right. One I would like to hear, and I mentioned it to you before. Well, actually, you know what? There's two. Uh, there's a 1996 demo tape from Static X. I don't know if you know about this.
I've heard some of the demos. Is that different?
There's two demos.
Yeah.
One that was recorded in 96 and the other was recorded in 97. The one from 97 you can hear everywhere. The one
Mhm.
from 96 is nowhere to be found. It's got Love Dump, Blood for Days, and an early version of Structural Defect.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And also there was and a couple of clips from it have popped up, but not the entire thing. There was a side project, and maybe if we ever do a Fear Factory Talk episode or whatever, or Toxcast episode,
Yeah.
I'll talk more about it. But there was a Fear Factory side project called Hated and Proud.
I thought you were gonna say Kush Project. But what's Hated and Proud?
Hated and Proud was a band that had a different singer. Uh, it was not Bert, it was someone else, but it was all the other members of Fear Factory. Well,
Was
actually,
it
it
when
was
they was it after they broke up?
no. This was 1992.
Oh shit. Okay.
And it was like sort of like kind of like hardcore, kind of like
That makes sense.
uh, it was Dino and I think Raymond was in it. A couple of tracks from that demo have popped up, but nothing else. And I know Bert had a band before they had a demo, and people have mentioned that they've had it, but I've never been able to find it. He had a Bert had a band called Hate Face, I believe.
I've heard that name. But yeah,
Uh,
nothing's coming to mind though.
Never
Being
heard. Yeah, it's I don't know what songs were out of that. But yeah, there's a couple of examples of that, you know. Uh there's a demo from a band I not a lot of people know about. They kind of like gear more towards like rap rock. Have you ever heard Dial 7?
that name sounds familiar. But go on.
They're kind of like I can just The best way to describe Dial 7 is they kind of remind me of like sort of like early uh and what was the band? 311. They kind of remind me of like
My favorite.
yeah, I like 311. I don't care.
They're fine. As long as I never have to hear Amber again, they're fine.
Yeah, for sure. Uh, but yeah, I'll definitely take a 311 over Sublime any day.
But he doesn't practice Santeria. He ain't got no crystal ball. He had $1 million, but he spent it all. Um, uh, while you were talking, I did remember. There's a album that's talked to, or it might even be an EP or a demo. I don't know. Uh, the pre-Depswa band Carcinogen. Um, when they were heavy, yeah, heavy Depswa. I think
Hmm.
they're either on my channel. They used to be on the channel. I don't remember. Um, but they're very good. But there's another release that came out like 3 years prior. That's like lost media. I would love to see that come out. And the Purge demo from Econoline Crush. I want that. I directly asked them about that. I was like, "Can I have this?" I was like, "I will pay you. Can I have this? I want to hear it." Because it had some songs that ended up on Purge and on Affliction, but then there was like 4 songs that they had never. I think the one has been released. One popped up, but then the other 3 have never come to see the light of day. And I'm like, I want to hear them. Old Econoline Crush, give me.
Hmm.
When you were like verging on industrial metal, the closest you ever got.
Yeah, pretty good answers. Uh, I'll have to check some of those bands out myself.
Do it. Yeah. Have you heard Depswa? Are you familiar with them?
Um, I've heard the name and I may have heard one or two songs.
They're super good. They're in that we're kind of new metal, we're kind of alternative rock bubble, like an Atom Ship or something like that.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, they're very good though. But yeah, like Carcinogen has like they're heavier. It has tribal elements, which is wild for a
Hmm.
California band. Um, but uh, but yeah, no, definitely check out some of those.
Okay. Uh, if you were to go into any country or travel anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Um, I don't know. I'd like to see Europe. Um, I I would be against the weather, but just to see it, I'd love to go to Norway.
Mhm.
Um, but God, it would be cold. Um, I'd love to see Spain, France. I'd love to see England, like that whole area. I'm too scared of South America to go there. I'm gonna get kidnapped, and then they're gonna find out that they can't get ransom out of me. Well, throw me in a ditch, or make me a drug mule. I'm like, wait, no, I can do podcasts for you. Drug cast.
Drugcast. Let's talk about all kinds of.
Import your drugs. Help. Save our John.
Yeah. Uh,
this week this week on Toxcast, we've got Manuel. He doesn't speak any English, so we're just gonna go. He's got a gun.
yes.
But yeah, no, I'd like to see Europe. Uh, Japan has always seemed cool, but I feel that would be overwhelming as shit for me. Um, like everything I've ever seen of video, like it looks crazy, and I'm like, I want to get like trampled or get run over. Something's gonna happen. Or I'll live in one of those apartments that's like a 5x5 cube. Like, ugh, why did I choose this? But yeah, you're any of those major countries in Europe is my final answer. I'd like to see that area. Come on, lottery.
Yes.
I will
No.
bring in an I'm gonna bring an interpreter with me.
There you go. Just have a guy come with you all throughout.
It's like I'm paying you. You better be telling them the right things.
I would definitely like to go to Norway too because I mean, love black metal. So,
Black metal fans would love me.
yeah.
They'd be like, "What's this new metal thing?" I'd be like, "Ah, don't worry about it."
Kind of going back to that. Has there ever been? This is kind of odd, but has there ever been in the history of new metal? Has there ever been in black new metal?
Oof. Um,
I know it sounds like away, like across from each other, but I'm kind of curious.
the only one, and we gotta shout him out. Gary did it with Gone Mage. Uh, that's got new and black metal elements, and it's fucking crazy. I think the way I described it was if Enal Nathrak tried to make a Korn album. Um, and it's crazy. But yeah, no, like a proper black metal band doing new metal or a new metal band doing black metal. I mean, we've had black metalcore. Um, we've had death metal bands do new metal. I almost think outside of that outlier, I think black metal and doom metal are kind of safe from the new metal connection. I mean, occasionally you'll get like a new metal band with a tiny element of like sludge, a la like Acid Bath. Like Lollipop Lustkill has that. There's a few like underground new metal bands that I know a bunch of people like have little sludge elements. Um, but yeah, no, I think black metal's fairly safe. Uh, yeah, because I was trying to think because I know Captor was a death metal band and then they went new metal. The craziest transition I can think of, because in reality, the transition from being the vocalist of Atheist to the vocalist of Neurotica
Mhm.
is wild. But being the vocalist of drone doom metal band Burning Witch and then being the vocalist of Sinistar is fucking weirder.
He had a
Um,
band before Sinistar?
oh my god, Burning Witch is fucking crazy. He's been in a bunch of it. It was with guys from Sun.
Oh,
He is some of those songs are like outlandish crazy. Like very noisy, very slow drone psychedelic doom elements. It's crazy. But yeah, and then he was like, I'm gonna do Sinistar. It's like, okay.
Mhm.
And then the other guys are gonna go do Sun.
Mhm. Did he ever do anything after Sinistar?
I want to say yes, but I don't remember what. He's on Instagram. Uh, I occasionally see. I know he's had other bands. I don't think he's had anything prominent though,
Mm.
and I don't think Burning Witch reunited. At least, definitely not in its original form because the Sun guys are busy.
Right.
And they've got 5 bands anyways.
Mhm.
Um, but uh, but yeah, if he did anything afterwards, it wasn't anything terribly of note, which isn't fair, I guess. But
Mhm.
yeah, because even the Atheist guy's done a bunch of projects outside of Neurotica and Atheist. Like he's had like three other bands, including that one he did with the Dry Kill Logic guy. Um, but yeah, that's the craziest one I can think of. But yeah, I think Black New outside of Gone Mage safe.
Yeah, yeah, because I know industrial black metal is a thing, and I've been
Oh yeah,
listening to a lot of those bands.
good. You listen to the wall of noise and the the weird bass hits.
Hmm.
It's like, why are you trying to make dance music, Mayhem? What are you doing? It's very good though. I like it.
Okay, what else can I think of? Uh, I may have asked this. I think I did ask this in the last one.
Mm,
Uh, is there a I know at the moment, back in the day, you said at one point Head PE's first album was your prized possession, but you have since sold it.
yeah.
What would you be your prized possession now?
Mm, my box set of Fringe. Um, if we're talking just music, probably my Skepticism 7-inch that's in a frame, and I don't know where it is at the moment. But yeah, I got their demo because I found it. I actually asked one of the band members if I could have it, and they sold it to me for like $20. I was like, okay. Um, so I have that, and it's in yeah. It was one of their demos. It's got two songs on it. I've never listened to it because I have the files, so I don't need to play it. Not that I have a record player. But yeah, so I got that and I framed it, and so that's one of my prized possessions. Um, outside of that, I'm trying to think of things that I have that are rare that I like really like. The Unloco EP,
Mhm.
like Useless. Not a lot of people have that, and I love that. Um, I don't know. Like I'm trying to look. Yeah, we'll just go with the Unloco. Like,
Okay. I
um,
almost are you talking about the Unloco EP from 1998?
no, the one right before Healing.
Okay.
Not the one with that intro. Uh, it's just the 5 song one. It's called Useless. The other one's self-titled, I think. The one you're talking about.
Oh, okay. I remember it took forever to get that for that to pop up online because I remember the person who had it on C. I remember asking the person who had it if, and he was wanting to sell it for like an absurd amount,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, I can sell it to you, but uh, he lived in Ukraine,
Okay.
and that was when a lot of the stuff was happening." So,
I remember buying CDs from a guy in Ukraine, and I really didn't even think about it at the time. Like I didn't see this. He's like, I'll get him to the post office when I can, and I because we had a decent back and forth, and then I realized where he was, and I was like, dude, you take all the time you need, it's fine. And then I got everything, but I was like, you're getting bombed. You can take your time to get me my 5 CDs.
it's probably the same guy then.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there was one prominent new metal seller from Ukraine, and he sent me a bunch of stuff, which was very nice.
Hmm. Have you ever bought any other music from any other country?
Oh yeah, all over the place. Um, yeah, I've gotten stuff from because like Discogs, I've gotten stuff from everywhere. I got a lot of stuff. I've gotten stuff from Russia. I've gotten stuff from Japan. I've gotten stuff from Spain. There's a prominent Italian new metal seller. Uh, France, obviously UK. Uh, I don't know if I've definitely gotten packages from Germany. The Germany ones were wild. I wish I had saved the packaging, or at least taken a picture of it because it was like I had so many stamps and crazy things on it, and it was in like it was like wrapped with like rope. It's like I was like, what is this?
Mhm.
Does this get delivered on a horse? Um, but uh, but yeah, a lot of those types of countries I've gotten stuff from.
Okay. Uh, yeah, I like buying stuff from other countries. Sometimes I am kind of like iffy on buying stuff from like Taiwan or China.
Yeah, I remember getting a weighted blanket forever ago, which ended up sucking. Like weighted blankets are cool in concept, but they aren't for me because I get very warm when I sleep,
Mhm.
and so it like I couldn't use it because it just made me like double warm. I'm like, yay, sweat monster. Um, but yeah, it took 3.5 months to get here, and by the time it got here, I forgot what I had ordered. And I was like, what the hell is this? And why is it heavy? And I was like, oh, that's right. I forgot. Weighted blanket. And I used it like twice. And I some of the worst nights sleep in my life. Um yeah, regular blanket for me. But yeah, no, Taiwan, I don't know if I've ever got anything from Taiwan. Maybe I have, but I've gotten stuff from Australia too. I don't think I've ever got anything from Africa. South America's not ringing a bell. Mexico, I'm not sure. Canada, yes.
Mhm.
But that one's easy. Uh, but yeah, I've ordered so much stuff over the years since like 2003. So I've gotten stuff from all over the place.
2003, huh? That's cool.
God bless the internet.
Hmm. Yeah, speaking of the internet, uh, I know you mentioned you've made a lot of friends over the years via forums and websites and stuff like that. Who, in your opinion, who would say is the oldest e-friend that you've had that you're still friends with to this day?
Oh boy. Um, not many. Um, it might honestly be some of the Discord people. Um, because it's not. I don't. It's not that many. Because like something would end up happening, or they'd disappear and start a cult. No one in particular. Um, hmm. I could name any of the ones who I talk to now, like from like Discord and Reddit and stuff like that. But I'm trying to think if I have anyone who I've had around like pre 2015. Um, hmm.
Like forum friends.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm trying because I haven't talked to like. There's some who I'm not on bad terms with who I just haven't talked to in forever.
Mhm.
Like there was a guy from England who came and visited me, um, and stayed at my house for a week, and he was
Hmm.
super nice dude. But I have not physically seen him almost 20 years. Um, long time. He got me out of trouble with the cops once
Oh, nice.
because we were trying to find something to do, and there's not much to do in most towns, like in Connecticut at night. So my dad worked at a school, and we're like, oh well, he's got a playground in the back of the school. We can just go hang out there and just chill and not be noisy in my house because my mom and stepdad were trying to sleep. So we went there, and I was like, yeah, my dad works there. It'll be fine. Uh, and we drove to the back parking lot. There was a cop, and I went, ah, shit. The cop came over. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I explained, And I was like, I'm really sorry. I was just with some friends. We were trying to find something to do because we were all we might have been over 20. Most of us might have been over 21. I don't know if all of us were. So it's not like we could go to a bar. Um, and so I was like, yeah, sorry, my dad works here. We just wanted somewhere to just hang out and not be a problem. And I was like, I have friends visiting from all over the country and outside of the U.S. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, this guy came over from England. And then he starts talking, and he's like, oh shit.
Mm.
It's like, okay, well, he's like, well, you can't be here at night. Um, but yeah, so you got to leave. But I'm not gonna give you a ticket or anything. I'm not gonna get you're not in trouble. But just you got to go. I was like, okay, fine. Um, but yeah, still a consistent friend. It's got to be like Santiago or Orion or one of them or you.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, because all the old ones are gone for one reason or another. My fault, their fault, both our faults. They just decided they didn't want to be in the internet anymore. Things,
Happens.
yeah. I don't even talk to that many. Like, I don't even talk to that many people who I knew back then. I have a couple. Like my best friend I've known since 2002,
Hmm.
who I live right near, and I see him more regularly than anybody else. But outside of him and a small subsect of people, like there are not a lot of people who I know pre 2010. There may be like five who I still talk to because everybody sucks. Boo. That's all I got.
Everything sucks.
Yeah.
Um. Uh. Was that school your old school?
No.
Oh,
But
okay.
I did spend a lot of time there because my dad worked there. So over the summer, when they didn't feel like paying for summer camp, we would hang out at the school, which was fine. I could bring like my they had like eight. It was back in the day where all the classrooms had like TVs, so I could just bring whatever game system I had, hooked it up to the TVs. I could use their gymnasium, which I liked running around and playing basketball, so that works.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Or I'd help my parents every once in a while. They're like, clean desks. So I was like, fine, whatever.
Hmm.
Nothing like getting woken up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go with your parents to go to work still in your PJs, and then being let to lay down in the library in sleeping bags and be like, all right, go back to bed. Okay. That's the first place I ever discovered laser discs. I was like, what is this?
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't know what a laser disc was, and they had a laser disc player in their library. I was like, what is this nonsense? So literally, the only laser disc I've ever watched was they had Sleepy Hollow, the animated one, on Laserdisc. So I watched it. I was like, "It's
Nice.
awesome! Giant, giant disc. This is the way of the future." It wasn't, but
It was like basically sort of like a DVD before DVDs in some way.
yeah, but bigger than vinyl
Yes.
and very expensive apparently.
Oh, they were. My mom said they were pretty. Yeah. Um. Uh. What else? What else? What else? Oh, do you happen to like anime?
No. Okay. I'll actually answer the question. So I like Pokemon. I don't care.
Okay.
Um, I like Ghost in the Shell.
Okay.
I like Cowboy Bebop, and that's kind of it. Any other one I've tried to watch, which admittedly I haven't tried to like deep dive into an anime in a long time, but any other one I tried to watch just didn't grab me, so I just didn't care. And I don't know. Like, there's something about a lot of anime that I see that a lot of the tropes, I'm like, this doesn't interest me. Whereas I know they have so many different styles and genres and subgenres and things now. There's probably ones I would really like, but I get so overwhelmed looking at bullshit like Crunchyroll or anything like that where I'm like, they're like, you have 50,000 options. I'm like, ugh, I don't want that. Just tell me one. Like, listen to the, just watch this. I'm like, fine.
Mhm.
I remember being told the Castlevania one was really good, but I also don't know how much I care. Um, but yeah, no, anime's never been particularly my thing, but I'm not gonna hate on anyone for liking it. Like whatever you like, it's fine. Pokemon.
Gotta catch 'em all. You know, I met the guy who sang that song.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah,
Wild. It's
yeah,
awesome.
nice guy.
Damn right he is. He wants to be the very best, like no one ever was.
Yeah. Uh, yes. Uh, let's see. Oh, uh, growing up, what were some of your favorite memories about going to like video rental stores, if you have any?
Trying to steal a candy bar and tripping and smashing my head on the plain glass window and having to go to the hospital when I was like 5.
What?
So I wanted a candy bar, and unbeknownst to me, my mom had already gotten me the candy bar. But she was trying to be a good parent and be like, no, you can't, you don't always get what you want. But she was going to give me what I want. So I grabbed a candy bar from the rack of candy bars and tried to run out of the store, tripped. And you know the, like the windowsill with a plain glass window?
Yeah.
I tripped, smacked my head on it, split my head open, blood everywhere. Had to go to the hospital. That
Wow.
was if you can see it, I don't know if you can see it. There is a scar. It's like Harry Potter, right there. If you can ignore my wrinkles, it's because I split my forehead open in the same spot 4 times. Because I was a disaster child. I was like, yeah, run around, fall all the time. But yeah, so my mom used to make fun of me so much for that. Like, you're an idiot. I was like, shut up, mom. Um, but actual good memories. We weren't a blockbuster family. We had a local store in the area called Magic Video, and Magic Video was awesome. We used to go there all the time, and they had deals where it was like, this is back pre DVD, so we're talking VHS people. You got to
Mhm.
rewind that shit.
Mhm.
Um, and so you could we would go on Friday nights. We would first go to the movie rental store, and my dad would be like, "All right, we're gonna get 7 movies for $7 for 7 days." And I go, "Okay, cool," because that was the deal. It was like 5 for 5, 6 for 6, 7 for 7. So why not just do the 7? So we'd pick out 7 movies. We'd watch them. Like, we'd get to pick I'd get to pick a few. My brother would get to pick a few. My dad would pick a couple that we weren't gonna watch. Um, and so it was that for many years. And then after we went to the movie store, we would go next door to the Kmart, which had a Little Caesars inside. Before Little Caesars came back and is shit now. It was good back then. It happened. Trust me. Um, just like Papa John's used to be good a long time ago. It's everything's bad now. So yeah, so we used to go there. We go get pizza and then we go home. So yeah, and they used to also have booklets that had, like, booklets that hold like trading cards and stuff like that,
Mhm.
like the 3x3 grids. It had that, but it was bigger things, and it had like the video game booklets, and you'd go through the booklet, and you'd be able to pull out a little thing, and they bring it up to the counter. You get a video game. You could also rent video game consoles. We never did that. Um, but yeah, my dad would let us rent like a couple of like you can rent one game. And I'm like, okay, cool. So many bad games. Um, fuck you. What was it Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner game for the Nintendo? You were terrible. Bad game.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad games we rented. Um, but yeah, like those are my favorite. Like I fills me with joy when I think back to those. So many movies. In that time I choked on a marble while we were watching Star Wars, one of them, and then we had to go to the hospital, and then I spit up the marble. It was good. Problem child. Don't put marbles in your mouth. That's all I
Wow.
got.
All right then.
Was your next question going to be what are the most interesting inanimate objects you've put in your mouth? um, but yeah, those are my rental place stories. But yeah, I loved browsing and looking at stuff. So many bad movies, so many bad horror movies that I've forgotten a lot of.
Mhm. Yeah, I have similar. We actually had video stores in my area up until, want to say, a year or two ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
We don't. They're trying. There is apparently a rumor. My hair keeps curling and I keep seeing it. It's annoying me. There's a rumor that GameStop is going to start going retro.
Oh no, no. Well, basically, what they're doing is they have a little section. I've been there where they just sell older games. It's really tiny. It's not like
Oh, that's disappointing. I wanted like I want you don't remember the day because it was way before. But GameStops, a lot of them used to be Funkoland.
I've heard about Funkoland from my friend.
Funkoland, you used to be able to go in there and they would literally give you a newspaper. And it was like a 4-page newspaper. And it had every game they had available and the price next to it. So you'd bring the newspaper home and you'd just like circle a bunch of shit. And they had so many. This was like when PS1 and PS2 existed. They were still selling Nintendo games for like $4. so, so I'd be like, can I get this, and this? We just go get. It was before things became like, oh, let's cash in on nostalgia. They were just
Hmm.
like, yeah, we're not. You can have Madden 2000 or Madden 99 for $1. Here you go, take it. Um, and we also had a. I got in trouble with it a few times. Um, we had a video trading post near me, and I used to ride my bike over there and like trade in games I had for like other games, and I got in trouble a couple of times because I traded in things that weren't mine to trade in for other games. So my parents like had to walk me down there, and they'd be like, "You need to refund this to my that you're selling my to my 14-year-old son now." Like, yeah. So there were times where I got like banned. Well, I don't know if I was actually banned, but I didn't show up for a long time. But but yeah, those are the only ones I could think of. But yeah, our stores went away. Uh, the last one around here, I think it even outlasted the Blockbuster. There was a Hollywood Video here, and it might have been done by like 2012.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's the last I'm remembering.
Okay.
Uh, Because yeah, I know Blockbuster was gone, but Blockbuster tried to start competing with Netflix, and it killed them.
Hmm.
Yeah, I guess I was told at one point that Blockbuster had the opportunity to buy Netflix, but they didn't think it was a good idea. Probably should have rethought that.
Yeah. kind of going similar to rental video stores. Do you have any other interesting, fun video game store memories?
Mm,
Like, did you ever go to Game Crazy or Game Rush or?
no. I'm trying to think. The only interesting stories I can think of are times where I went to stores for midnight releases.
Hmm.
Um, I went to GameStop twice for midnight releases. Wait, two or three? There might have been a third, but I'm remembering two. One was a terrible idea, and it actually got me to not play the game for a really long time because I stupidly went to a midnight release when I was sick, and then I
Oh.
tried playing the game afterwards, and I was still sick. So for the longest time, it I associated the game with being, and it was Fallout New Vegas.
Okay.
So I was like I had like the flu, and I went and I was like, oh yeah, pick up my game, and then I tried playing the game, and I was just like dead to the world. So anytime like I thought about the game for the next like couple of months, like I'd get like slightly nauseous. Um, so that's not a good memory. It's just a memory I have. But a good memory, a fun one, is we went to the midnight release of GTA 5. Um, and that was a lot of fun. I went with my friend James, and we just shit talking the whole night. And we even had to waste time at the beginning because we went there and they were like, "We're not opening. Like, we're way too early." So we actually drove up the road to the movie theater and literally looked at the wall. We're like, "All right, what's the most acceptable movie on this wall that we can watch that we don't actually care to? Because none of these movies are things we're going out of our way to see." And that was how I saw the. It's like the third Riddick movie. I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
"Fuck it, we'll watch that." It was all right.
Yeah.
Lack of monsters though pissed me off.
Hmm.
Um, but uh, but yeah, we just had a good fun time. Uh, they had just installed a frozen yogurt place next door to the GameStop, so we all had frozen yogurt. Um,
That's
which is
good.
which is still one of the only times I've ever had frozen yogurt. It was good though.
Hmm.
Um, it's just expensive usually.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm having a hard time thinking of any memories that stand out to me. Like lots of me going in, walking down the walls by myself, just staring at games, trying to find something. Lots of me going to the video store with Jesse and them trying to sell him on anything, and him being the biggest dick in the world to them. He did not like people trying to upsell him shit. It like he was mean. It's like Jesse, just they're just doing their job. He's like, fuck them, and I was like, okay. It's like you should get a warranty. It's like you should fuck yourself. He didn't actually do that, but he was very condescending to them. He was just like, for what? Is there anything you want to pre-order? Why? You're not gonna sell enough. And they're like, he's like, I'm right. It's like, Jesse, stop, stop. Just get your game. We can leave. You're making this lady sad. Good, she deserves to be sad. She talked to me. But girls don't like you, Jesse.
Oh, that's
Okay,
great.
he'll never watch this episode. Um, but yeah, that's all I can think of. But yeah, lots of times of me literally scouring the walls before. This was pre me like heavily browsing the internet. Where I was like, oh, well, if I want to buy a video game, I have to go to the store to buy it. No, I don't. This was also before like everything was digital too. Um, Now I could just go online and be like, oh, 60% off on Steam. Cool.
Nice.
Speaking of which, Horizon Zero Dawn's on sale right now on Steam for like $12. Get it. Go buy it. It's like 80% off. Do it now. Talking directly to you, Anthony. Attack the robot animals. It's good.
Okay, I'll look into that. And
You
also
better.
buy that one other game you told me to buy.
Proteus?
Yeah.
We beat Proteus. Is awesome. It gets super fucking hard at the end.
Okay.
And
Still.
now we're playing some co-op game called Chained Together, which is one of those physics-based games, but you're literally in hell trying to escape hell, and you got to be really careful climbing on stuff, and there's traps, but you're literally chained together. So it's kind of fun, but one of those games that's like it's very very difficult. Like, did you ever play like the one where you're climbing on the rocks? It's like side scroll looking like 2D, but you got the pickaxe and you're trying to climb up on the rocks. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, so it's in that category of like rage games, whatever, but it's got a more forgiving mode where you can turn it on easy, which we did after the first couple of times of trying to climb up and then falling all the way down and then being like, I don't want to climb all the way back up there. So now it's got a checkpoint system because yeah, I'm too old now to be dealing with that shit.
Mhm.
What was I talking about? Oh, this came from Proteus. I'm sorry. Yeah, Proteus. Get Proteus is super fun. I wish there were more games like it. The only
Mhm.
other one I've seen described like it is a game called Bolt Gun, but it's single player. What the fuck? No, I want 4-person Doom style game. And I learned recently, and it would be an impossibility to find 7 other people to do it. You can play the Duke Nukem 3D campaign with co-op with 7 other people. How? I want to see it because that's going to be chaos. I hope it's 8 times the enemies too.
Mhm.
Like the game just dies. Like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's what would happen. It's not built for that. That's why all those custom maps of like 1,000 extra Doom levels. It's like we put all the tomato looking guys. I don't know any of the names of the Doom creatures. I just remember shooting them. Um, or the guy who had the tank treads and like shot laser guns. Like we put 50 of them on the map, and then the game's like death. Okay, it wasn't meant to do that.
Uh, I'll definitely check that out. I'll probably buy it either on Steam or PS5. We'll see.
Do it.
I'm trying to look for a good controller for my PC. Like that would be USB. What would be a good like handheld controller?
I have been using an Xbox 360 controller for the last 10 years on Steam, and it works lovely. You literally just plug it in.
Okay, because I had a Logitech like cheapo controller
Oh
and
no, just buy a used Xbox 360 controller online for like 15 bucks, and you will be set. It automatically configures it. Everything's good, and 75% of the games on Steam work with it.
okay. And if I had like a old like some old PC games, they would work fine with it too.
Probably yeah. You'd have to like configure it like if it's not in Steam, um, like some binding thing because you can download binding programs for like most older games and like set it to it. It may be a little janky, but you can do it.
Okay.
Do it.
Will do.
Yeah, because I tried to go wireless for a little while, but I hated the responsiveness of it. And every once in a while the signal would give away, and that annoys me when I'm trying to play a game, especially if it's a game where I have to like be paying attention all the time and responsive. Like
Mhm.
sweet, dead.
Okay. Uh, do you have any? So we were talking about video store memories, game
Mm.
store memories. Do you have any music store memories of any old music stores you used to go to?
riding my bike to go buy mechanical animals on cassette tape and paying with change and being told to never do that again.
I think you mentioned that story.
Oh god. I didn't have any money. I was a kid. Yeah, I drove all the way across town. It was a good ride. Like, 'cause that record store was not near us. So we're talking an hour bike ride to get to the record store,
Mhm.
pay with coins, ride back with that cassette tape. Ugh. Um, it's 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 very similar memories to me as the video game ones. I love, and I'll do it to this day, where I will go in a CD store and I by myself and I will just sit there and I will look through all the things and I'll go, okay, that's interesting. And if there's a used CD section, even better.
Mhm.
So many CDs I wouldn't have normally bought that I found for like $3. I was like, yeah, fine, whatever. Sure, I'll own 3 Fallout Boy CDs. Why not?
Yeah.
Or 5 Collective Soul albums. Ugh,
Yeah. Sure.
they're okay. They're worth $3.
Okay. I've only ever heard Shine. So.
You've had to have heard more than Shine. Fucking December, Heavy, um, Run, The World I Know. Those are all like massive, like alternative songs.
I probably have. I would have to listen to him again.
The like December is like, don't think about, turn your head now, baby, just spit me out. Da, 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 da. I don't remember the rest of the words.
Possibly. I don't know. See, you grew up in a time when I'm actually kind of jealous because of how older you are, because
I'm
you heard a
closer to death.
no, but you keep mentioning, especially in your new metal video collection video, that you've heard all these bands on the radio, and I haven't even heard like a fraction of that now.
Yeah, it was a different time. Yeah, because that was the only way you did it. Like that was how you did it. You got music from the radio or your friends. That was it. Or you saw a band live.
Mhm.
That was those were your 3 ways you found music. Or you talk to people, which this counts as a friend thing. You talk to people through like magazine things. It's like, oh, what stuff do you tape trading? What do you have in your country? Send me a mixtape. Blah blah blah. All that sort of shit.
Mhm.
I wish I'd been part of that. It would have been interesting. But nowadays like you don't need to. Everything's at your fingertips. But yeah, no, so much stuff that was on the radio that like I was exposed to. And yeah, and I can understand like there's so many things I've heard that you just haven't heard because like it was like thrown at me. Like I heard this stuff all the time. Um but yeah, it was a different time and it's dead now. They can keep trying to say radio's still alive. It's not. We have like no rock and metal support in Connecticut. It sucks.
Uh,
Maybe in other states there is, but there ain't nothing modern here. Like classic rock stations, we got like 4 of them. Occasionally I'll hear like Nirvana or Metallica or something. That's it.
mhm.
Uh, I'm still waiting for Korn to be classified as classic rock. It's gonna be coming.
Yeah.
They play Evanescence on the like oldies station. Why not?
Yeah.
Do it. It's time.
Hmm. Yeah, I used to like every time I heard a band like on the radio that are like, I, like you mentioned before, like that's special to me. Like I once heard Marilyn Manson on the radio once. I heard Limp Bizkit once on the radio.
I love that you say once.
Yeah.
No, we used to no, like I my Manson exposure was from the radio. Like Dope Show. Dope Show was big. Uh and then Rock is Dead was big. And those are the only two singles that I heard on the radio from that album. They never played I Don't Like the Drugs. It might have been played somewhere else. I never heard it.
Okay.
Um, and but yeah, I'd hear Manson all the time, especially during Hollywood era was the height of me listening to the radio. I used to hear those songs all the time. Limp Bizkit I used to hear all the time. They used to play Eminem on the rock radio.
Hmm.
Um, cause or the alternative, yeah, I guess the alternative radio station. Um, but yeah, wild times.
Yeah.
Bring it back. No, you don't need to bring it back. It's fine.
I've heard oh, you want to know the weirdest band I've heard on the radio? Or not the weirdest, but the most out of like a band you would never think of about hearing on the radio?
What?
Napalm Death.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
They played You Suffer live on their air.
I know they used to do it as a joke. Uh, like the UK radio stations used to do it. Anytime if somebody called in and gave the wrong answer, there was one particular because John Peel used to be on the BBC radio and he loved those bands. Um, so he used to play them on his radio station, but like the mainstream radio guys used to play Napalm Death if somebody called in and got a question wrong, like on a trivia thing. He'd be like, "You got the question wrong. Now, Napalm Death." It was like a punishment. They play. Okay, wait. I can tell you the weirdest thing I've ever heard in the radio,
Oh, sure.
and it happened within the last year.
Okay.
They were talking about a thing that happened at a concert. It was in the U.S. somewhere. I can't remember. But they were whoever the band in question was had an animal head they threw into the crowd, and it was like a morning talk show thing they were talking about. They're like, yeah, this band threw an animal head into the crowd. There was blood everywhere, so they issued a public apology, and they were making fun of the public apology, which, in fairness, was very funny because it was coming from this band who was supposed to be like really evil and sinister, and it was black metal. And
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah, so they were talking about it and they were making fun of it. They played a clip of the music on the radio station. And I was like, whoa, whoa. They played it for 30 seconds. And I was like, oh, I am shell shocked right now. That was as close to me being shell shocked as the time they played. Are you familiar with the TV show Elementary?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
It's based on Sherlock Holmes, but
Okay.
it's the guy from Hackers, John something, I can't remember his full name, but it's a British dude. Him and Lucy Liu. But anyways, they have an episode pretty far into the series where they're trying to find secret messages and they're trying to find the killer of this one guy, and the only evidence they have is that the guy was sent a mixtape, and it's all extreme metal bands. So live on NBC, they played Goat Whore twice, and I was like, yes,
That's cool.
awesome. And like they actually said the names, like, what's this one? It's like Goat Whore.
Nice. That is cool.
And they played two Goat Whore songs. They played Artificial Brain, and they played somebody else, and I can't remember the other one. But yeah, I was like, that is wild. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
It's as close to wild as when they mentioned Carcass on Friends.
Oh yeah, I remember that too.
The Carcass with a C or a K. Who doesn't matter? It doesn't matter. They're both great. Okay.
I think now that you mention it, I actually do remember another time. It was during October, and I remember the radio host was like, "We're gonna play something real scary," and it was like, so they played a Venom song.
Ugh. Scary to your ears because of the sound quality.
Yeah,
Black
I think
metal.
Venom are just In my opinion, just
Yeah, they're okay.
yeah.
Um, yeah, Henry Rollins fucking hated Venom.
Yeah.
But no, they never Venom and Bathory. I give a pass. Bathory's interesting at least.
Bathory's cool. I like
Yeah.
him.
And then they just got weird. And then
Hmm.
they made a crossover thrash album in the '90s that everyone fucking hates. Um, I still need to listen to it. I'm sure it's bad, but I don't care. I like listening to bands' bad albums.
Hmm. Do you like Cold Lake by Celtic Frost?
I've heard parts of it.
Okay.
I need to listen to the whole thing because I'm actually not even that familiar with Celtic Frost. I love Monotheist, but as far as like the early stuff, not actually that familiar.
Okay.
Sporadic things I'm familiar with, like some of the bigger songs I know, but yeah.
Okay. Because I know you mentioned you saw Triptychon live.
No, I didn't see them. I was supposed to see them because they were at Maryland Death Fest, but they were playing at like 2 in the morning, and I was like, no.
Oh, fair
Uh,
enough.
yeah, I had going into the festival. I wanted to, but no, it was way too late. Even this last time, I stayed up. I stayed up finally. It was the only time I've done it at any of the Death Fests. I stayed up all night to see the closing band, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. And by the time, oh boy, I made it. I almost made it to the end of the set, but I was dying because it was like 2 something in the morning, and I'm like, uh,
Uh,
trying, but it was hemorrhage, and I wanted to see them, and they were awesome. They had so much energy. How do you have that much energy playing that late? It was so fun.
mhm.
Gore grind dance metal. It was great. They had beach balls, glitter. I was like, I don't want any of the goo on me. I don't want to get hit by the glitter beach ball. I'm gonna stand over here and watch them bounce around and make the singer make weird noises. Ah, yeah, good times.
Yes. Uh, I think I may have accidentally cut you off, but earlier. But
How
do you have
dare
any?
you?
What?
I said, how dare you?
Do you have any other record store memories?
None that are springing to mind. Oh, I think, I was trying to relay the fact that I still to this day will spend a lot of time just I'll just go through and browse everything. Like a lot of my record store memories are very boring, but fun for me because I like doing that. Uh, yeah, outside of bringing change to get mechanical animals. And when I went to go pick up anyone for Doomsday, and they're like, we didn't get any shipments in, and we were supposed to get them. And I was like, that's weird. And then everything else happened. I'm like, where's anyone for Doomsday, Power Man 5000? Uh, where is it? We're gonna release a new album in 3 years? What? Why? You son of a bitch. You
And then
made
that,
your say they
yeah,
made their own demise.
yeah, yeah. Like I think they did release it eventually.
Yeah, and then got told they couldn't sell it
Yeah.
because DreamWorks came out. They're like, no, 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 no. You shelved it. Don't you be pulling no bullshit. Yeah,
I'd
so
like
they're
to get a copy of it. Like I remember one of the record stores near me somehow found like a back promo copy and they were selling it at the record store for like 120 bucks.
ugh. I've it occasionally pops up on Discogs, and that Eric Ware guy who is like the Massachusetts new metal aficionado. If I have any questions about the genre from that state, I ask him. And he's a big Power Man fan. He has a copy of Anyone for Doomsday. Uh,
Okay.
oh, oh God, what's it called? There's a album that's not Power Man 5000, but it's Spider, and it's before. Um, and it has a Discogs page, It's like a cassette or something. It might be rap, honestly, because he has a rap EP, and I've heard that, and it's not very good. But he had another one. Um, it was like a 6 song demo, and it's on Discogs, and I cannot find a trace of it. Like I'd love for that to pop up, even if it's bad. I don't care. I just want to hear it. I like hearing things. Show me all the bad things you want. I've
Yes.
heard more than enough bad new metal for one lifetime. You can give me more bad stuff. It's fine.
Yeah.
I do like that all the bad new metal bands I've heard have made E Town Concrete go slightly up.
Hmm.
Because I hear all these one song new metal bands and I'm like, ugh, sounds like shit.
Yeah, the production or the vocalist, sounds like he blew his vocals out or whatever.
Yeah, and or it sounds like it was recorded in the fucking. It sounds like a 1991 black metal demo. That quality, like, yay.
Yeah. I'll say of all the new metal bands that I actually own in my collection, I think my least favorite, although I still like him to a point. I think I uploaded it on my other channel.
Mm.
Uh, what was the band? It had a doll on the front cover with an eye out. What was it?
Lunatic Candy Creep,
No. Um,
Stitch a no.
stand by. I'm gonna look this up real quick. Because I have it and I upload the scans and oh, Thrown Aside from New York.
I don't even know if I know who that is. They might
They're
be on the list for all I know. There's so many bands that are on the A to Z list who people are like, what do you think of blah blah blah? And I'm like, I don't know. They're like, you put them on the list. I'm like, I put 2,800 bands on the list.
yeah.
Some of them I've listened to for 30 seconds. I don't remember. I'm like, I just go, like, especially with all the ones that music sends me in the freaking feed. I'm like, I listen to it for 30 seconds, make sure it's new metal. I'm like, up, good. There you go.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I ain't got time. But yeah, no,
Right.
I don't. That name doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, maybe I'll send you the video later.
Do it. I'm always up for hearing crap.
Yeah. It's all right. It's not terrible. It's not the worst thing I've ever heard though. Um
That's sugar coma.
I tried to get into Sugar Coma.
The first song on that album is really good, and then everything else is kind of crap.
Like
Especially that
it's
that single is terrible. What goes round?
it's like defenestration if it wasn't as catchy or enjoyable.
Yeah, it takes the the aggression and the power out of defenestration. It's very tame. It's not the worst female fronted new metal band I've heard though.
Who's the worst?
I don't remember their name. I will send them to you later. They're from California. They are like they look like they could have been in the Scooby Doo movie. They're like
The
you
Hex
can
Girls?
oh maybe no they fuck they have a weird name but no they you could clearly tell that they're like this is a cash grab band. This is a band that was like might have been put together in like the industry to try and make money, like a pop new metal band. But I'm like, ugh, this is this is pretty weak, and like all the attempts at like teenage angst, like all the cliches are all over like the song names and everything. I'm like, nah, I see right through your bullshit.
Yeah. Like they want to like try to be like Spit Era Kitty, I take it.
Yeah, but like poppy. Like
Okay.
yeah, they're not trying to hide their pop sensibilities, but they're still trying to be like we're new metal. Eh, kinda technically.
Yeah, maybe I'll check it out later. Um, on the opposite, unrelated, but we were talking about movies earlier.
Hmm.
What was the first film that you can remember seeing in theaters?
Rockadoodle.
Danny Bluth film.
And it was the theater that my mom, it was the movie that I saw where my mom told me she would never go to the movie theater with us again because my brother wouldn't stop crying. And so he kept having to come out of the theater. I don't know why she brought my baby brother with us anyways. But yeah, she was very mad. But yeah, no, I saw Rockadoodle. I have fond memories of it. I haven't rewatched it in 25 years, but even actually maybe even longer. I don't remember when that came out. It might have been mid 90s.
91.
Oh, then oof. I may have seen it once or twice after it came out of theaters because I'm pretty sure we had it on VHS. So let's
Mhm.
take a guess and say I haven't seen it in 30 years. Long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the earliest memory I got.
Okay.
I do remember seeing Starship Troopers in theaters and my dad trying to cover my face when the girl took her shirt off.
Wait, you saw that? Was that the first R-rated film you saw in the theater?
Ooh, maybe actually.
Okay.
Trying to when Starship Troopers was 97,
Yeah, 97.
so I would have been 13. It's not the first R-rated movie I saw, but yes, I'm gonna guess it's the first R-rated movie I saw in theaters because I really wanted to see it, and I'm pretty sure he took my little brother to that too. It's like we're gonna see Starship Troopers. Okay,
I take it your dad was like a fan of like those like sci-fi kind of like action films.
kind of. My dad was a huge Western fan, actually. So I
Hmm.
saw a lot of old black and white Westerns because of him. That's why my letterbox will never be complete because I don't remember a lot of those movies that I saw. There's probably like 200 Westerns I saw that I just don't remember. Um, but uh, but yeah, he liked a lot of those. But yeah, and that's why there's a lot of movies I've never seen because a lot of the movies I saw growing up were because of my dad. I didn't go to the movies with like friends or anything until like I was in maybe my later teens. So there's a bunch of movies that I get crap for. I've never seen the Schwarzenegger one with the three boob lady. Total Recall. I've never seen Total Recall. Um I've never seen Apocalypse Now. Um a bunch of like a bunch of like 70s and 80s classics are like I completely missed. 90s shitty action movies? Oh, you better believe I've seen them. Have I seen Daylight 10 times? Yes, I've seen Daylight 10 times. It's awesome. Sylvester Stallone comes down through the van vents to get people out of a trapped tunnel. You're looking at me so funny. It's fine. It's a good movie. Have I seen Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones 15 times? Yeah, I have. Fucking guy jumps from the bus into the lava and goes ah, and just melts. Ah,
No,
um,
I definitely got to check those out too because I like really bad like action films as well.
if you've never seen Volcano, see Volcano. It's
Uh,
fucking nonsense.
okay.
Uh,
Spe-
but in all the best ways. Like it's good. Um, this part where this isn't spoiling anything, but there's a part where the lava's flowing across the city, and he's with his like little girl, or like daughter, like not little, she's like a teenager, and she's so scared, and like the lava like bubbles and spits out a little piece of like lava on her leg, and she's like ah ah. It like flicks it off. It's like, oh, it burns. It burns. Like, what? You're just standing still and you get spit at by the lava. What is this nonsense? It's awesome. Um, but yeah, yeah. See, I saw a lot of movies in. We used to go to the drive-in a lot, and you'd get to see 2 movies in one night. So I saw a lot of movies that way. That's how I saw the Blair Witch Project.
Hmm.
Because my parents were like, "We don't want to see that," and I was like, "Okay." So when we went to the drive-in, there's 3 screens. So I was sitting in the back. So they watched whatever the movie was in front of us. And I was like, I'm gonna watch that one over there, and I wore my headphones to change the to tune to that frequency, so I could watch Blair Witch Project. And I was like, oh, it was great. And then I tried to watch it a second time. I was like, that wasn't as great. But I wonder how I'd feel about it now. I haven't seen that movie in at least 20 years.
Okay. It's definitely, like I mentioned in my like other horror films in found footage, it's definitely set the stone for a lot of what found footage films were popular for. So in that sense, it's very, I guess in a historical sense, it's, pretty important.
Yeah, no, it's super important. I get that. Have you watched the new one yet?
No.
Watch the new one. It's very good. It spooked me.
Okay. It spooked me.
Yeah, very spooks. Yeah, I was surprised at how well done it was. I went into it and I was like, because there's a game out that's like Blair Witch. That game fucking sucks. Don't play that game.
Okay.
It has an anxiety meter, and like it's like oh, I'm feeling anxious. I have to touch my dog. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Touch the dog. Okay. Why? Why did you make this the scary game? Touching the dog game. But yeah, Dad was responsible for me seeing a whole lot of movies. Also, if you've never seen it, a highly recommended 90s action bullshit movie for you, Escape from LA.
Okay.
Like hands down, one of my favorite movies. If I recommend you no other movies ever, watch Escape from LA.
Okay.
And review it. 50-minute review. All spoilers. Talk about everything. Because it's nonsense and it's from 1997. It's okay to spoil it.
Okay.
The CGI is so fucking terrible at points. Oh, it's got Bruce Campbell in it.
Okay.
For no real reason. He's just a weird doctor.
Mm-hmm.
It's got that weird-looking guy from Con Air and Big Lebowski, whose name I can never remember. What's his name? He's the meme guy for the Hello Fellow Kids thing.
Oh, Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he's in it. Yeah. Awesome game. Awesome movie. Should have been a game. Could have been a game.
Mm-hmm. What are some other bad movies? Okay, here's another question. Here's
Crow.
bad movies that you love.
The Crow 3.
Okay.
Oh, it is so fucking bad. The Crow 4 is just bad. But the Crow, I legit stand by the Crow 1 and 2 being good movies. But the Crow 3 is amazing soundtrack.
Yes, I was about to mention that.
And it's got Kirsten Dunst in it, and she's always cute.
Mm-hmm.
But oh boy, and the villain is the guy from Tremors who's not Kevin Bacon.
Oh.
God, but yeah, no, there's I have a litany of bad movies that I love. What Virus? Have you ever seen Virus?
No.
Oh, what's Halloween lady's name?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, she's in it. Uh, Virus is terrible and amazing at the same time because
Hmm.
what they did visually is so crazy. But boy, is it a shit movie. But boy, is it fun to watch.
Hmm.
I'm like, wow, robots took over all these dead bodies and like tried to piece them back together. So they're like half cyborg, half flesh prison. Like it's like something out of Hellraiser, but robotics. Like what the fuck? And it all came from an alien lightning storm. Um, but yeah, Virus is amazing. Uh, trying to think of ones that aren't comedies that are intentionally bad. Um, Escape from LA would honestly fit in that category. They tried to make the first one serious, and I still don't think it's serious. Escape from New York. It's got the villain is Isaac Hayes, which
Okay.
chef from South Park. For those who don't
Yes.
know who that is, it's awesome. But God, I'm trying to think. There's a movie called. Do you know what Turbulence is?
I've heard of it, never seen it.
The first movie's really good. It's about a guy who takes over a plane. Blah blah blah. Uh, there's a second one. I couldn't tell you a damn thing about the second one, but there's a third one, and the third one involves a shock rock metal band performing on a plane. Guess who it's based off of? Mr. Manson. So he looks like a cross between Manson and like Danny Filth, with a giant forehead. Um, but yeah, so it's this shock rocker goth guy performing on a plane, brings all his fans on the plane, and they're like live streaming it, and then they at some point in the he's also like a dick, and then at some point when he goes to his dressing room, he gets knocked out and replaced by a guy who looks just like him, who comes out on the stage and he shoots one of the band members, and then like holds everyone hostage because he's the actual like, this is the villain. And then at the end of the movie, like uh the singer, the actual singer, like takes back the plane and lands it. And he's just like, landing the plane. I'm like, this is awesome and fucking terrible. uh, any Nicolas Cage movie from the 90s is bad, but awesome. Uh, Gone in 60 Seconds, Con Air. Oh, Con Air is amazing. Uh, I guess Bringing Out the Dead is slightly more serious, but it's still really good.
Mhm.
Trying to think. Uh, no, it's a comedy. I was gonna say Jingle All the Way because it's kind of crap, but it's still good. End of Days is crap, but it's good. The one
Yeah.
where Arnold Schwarzenegger fights Satan. That one's
Yes,
good.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Dracula 2000 has an amazing soundtrack, and that's a good but bad movie.
Yeah.
Or there's Dracula 3000 with Coolio, which oh, that's a movie. Ghosts of Mars with
Hmm.
Ice Cube, terrible but awesome. Also an amazing soundtrack. It doesn't even have like legit music on it. It's just like a score. The score's awesome. It's like industrial metal. It's great. Um, I have a soft spot for Doom.
Yeah, me too.
Doom is shit, but I like it.
Hmm.
Um, but let's see. I'm trying to see if anything catches my eye. No. Starship Troopers is almost one of those movies, but it is a satire, but some people think it's like trying to be serious, but is just one of those bad movies. But I think they're making fun of stuff
Hmm.
because there's a lot of like little innuendo things, like all the good guy space marine people who are like kind of dressed like Nazis. It's like, oh, that's not good. um, but yeah, I'm sure there's tons of other ones. But yeah, no, I love a good bad movie that's fun to watch. Like I'll take those any day over like a serious drama that I got to sit down and fucking chew through. But I like those too.
Yeah, for sure. Got a lot to watch for sure.
Yeah, watch all of them. Just go.
Okay.
I'll just send you my letterbox. Like watch all of these, all 1,700. Do it.
Okay.
Don't actually do that. There's too many.
No, you know, it's kind of sad. I don't know if you knew about this, but there actually used to be a website, uh, very not as well known, and it was a great idea. It's just it wasn't executed properly, and not a lot of people like really went to it. Have you ever heard of this website called Movie Cogs?
No.
It was basically Discogs like response to like they allowed to do like something similar to like Discogs, but with like movies. And I love that idea.
They have a book website like that.
That I didn't know.
It's called Secondhand Books, I think, or Secondhand Reads, one of those. But yeah, it's all like reselling books. I've gotten some really good books for cheap on there, but most of them you can find on eBay or Amazon at this point. Same
Okay.
with movies. But yeah, a Discogs for movies is a good idea.
Yeah. I hope it does become a reality and, well executed for sure.
Yeah, because I like the idea of like being able to browse somebody's like store of movies and be like, oh, I can get this. Like all I can browse all these random things and like maybe I'll pick up some stuff I've never tried before.
hmm I could upload like my scans of like my movie collection. So,
Do it. They need it. They need all the low budget movies. Give them all.
hmm because I have a really good scanner. I used to scan a lot of CD covers for like Discogs, but they kind of banned me from doing that.
Why?
I don't know. I think I messed with a couple of certain releases, and they were like, "Well, you can't, do that and this." So I gotta figure a way around it, but I'll try to get back into that because I've uploaded a couple of scans of like bands, and CDs, and stuff in the
Because
past. You may have seen them before. May not have. I don't know.
I know I've seen your profile on Discogs.
Mhm. Yeah, like I would buy like a CD or like a CDR or some random band or a cassette tape, and I'll just put it through the scanner and then put it as a submission, and it would be that up. So,
I have a really good scanner too. I'm just very lazy, and Santiago hates me for it because I have a bunch of stuff that nobody else has. I'm like, I don't want to. I gotta get it out of my closet. Actually, it's not even in my closet. It's way over there, but it's not hooked up at the moment. But I want to.
what brand is it?
It's one of the major ones. It's probably HP.
Okay, I have an Epson, so.
It's definitely not an Epson. Um, but yeah, it scans very good. It goes really really high quality.
hmm
But God, it takes forever. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah, it does for me too. Like I scan it and then I gotta resize everything and
Oh, I literally will send the raw scans to Santiago. I'm like, you cut it. You want him, you cut him, and he will. He likes doing that actually.
yeah. Me too.
So I'm like, here you go. You can have all these.
hmm In fact, on my other channel, if like you look at the like you can find the scans of like whatever, and those are all my scans, mostly. Some of it isn't, but Anyway,
I
back to, huh?
I found this not that long ago because I was inspired by one of our other Discord people, Ergs. He found a Graysell Green album in like just online, so he bought it. And then I found a two-track demo of a couple of songs and snippets. So I own that now. And something that I bet was in my new metal CD collection video and at some point along the way lost, I re-own this now.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, God damn it! How do I not have? Oh, and I don't think I showed these. Hold on. I now own, in one fell swoop, own the entire discography of one band. Uh, I got all three Gargantua Soul albums. So
Nice.
that one, that one, that one, all for less than $20 combined.
Cool.
I was like, and one of them's still sealed. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll keep those. Um, but yeah, those are some recent pickups I had.
Since you showed those,
Uh,
I do have one question, and I know you're probably not gonna like it, but
where's the CD collection video?
when's the new metal CD collection video coming?
2030. God, I am so. I have occasionally thought about it, and then uh, I don't know what keeps me from doing it. I just, God, I don't. I think I look at the rack that I have now, and I'm like, ugh, I don't want to do this because it's a
Uh,
lot. I posted the full collection at one point. Like I took pictures of everything, but God, just sitting down and like do even in parts, I'm like, I don't want to. Maybe it'll change. Maybe next summer when I have another 2 months off from work,
mhm.
maybe I'll do it. How
Okay.
about then? I'll try then. No
Okay.
promises, but I'll try.
Okay. Because
And
I'm
no,
not.
you can't ask the follow-up question about something that hasn't been on my channel for a long time because it's not happening. It's done. It's over. We're cut.
All right. Uh,
I was talking about Let's Plays, by the way.
yeah. Yeah. I
I
th
the thing is, like, I know you liked him, and I know there was a couple people who liked him, but I have since, because of how I've gotten so used to using video games as that's what I do and chill now. So it's like my turn my brain off thing. So I don't want to, like, if I'm gonna do a let's play, I have to be on. So it's, like the last few times I tried, I'm doing it, but I'm not feeling it. And I've like, cause there's sometimes where I'm just like, I just want to sit here and play Horizon Dawn for 6 hours and not say a goddamn word. Or
mhm.
maybe I want to play Stardew Valley forever. But yeah, so yeah, I just like kind of quietly was like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. There's 5,000 other Let's Players. Go check them out. They're cool.
Mhm.
I just point them to your channel. I'm like, watch Anthony. Anthony does stuff.
Yes. Watch me play all the Spyro games.
Do all the Spyro games. Play, play Until Dawn. You son of a bitch.
I definitely need to do that.
I want to see your genuine reaction to Until Dawn. I think you would have so much fun with that, and with you, I can see you accidentally killing half of them because that's the whole point of the game. Is you're trying to get it's basically you inside of a horror movie, and you're trying to get everyone to survive through the game. Spoiler: all of them can die. I saved all but one in my playthrough, and it pissed me off because they died at the very end. I was like, "You son of a bitch!" Because my controller's shook. Because there's a couple of times you got to stay like perfectly still. But oh, it's so good. It is so well done, and the fact that they haven't technically done another one, but the company's made a few other tiny horror games, and they're okay, but they're not Until Dawn. Until Dawn was marvelous. And that VR sequel doesn't count. That fucking shit sucked.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All
that's all I
right.
got.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So, new metal CD collection video coming summer 2025. Mark it down.
Mark it down.
Yeah.
Uh, uh,
All right, I will give you three final questions.
Yeah, I know.
Now,
We have to go on for 3+ hours. So
no,
okay, okay. Um, where if I were to three final questions? Yeah, because I know we were gonna wrap it up anyway. I was gonna.
yeah, no, I figured as much.
Um, what was the first R-rated film that you ever did watch?
Probably Alien.
How old were you when you saw that?
Younger than Starship Troopers. I saw Alien when I was pretty young. Oh wait. Is Jaws R?
No,
Oh, okay. Jaws isn't R. What the fuck is Jaws?
PG.
Bullshit.
No, I'm serious. My mom thought the same thing. I asked my mom, I was like,
Oh wait, is Aliens R though, right?
yeah,
Okay. All right, so it's gonna be Alien. I'm gonna say 10.
okay.
But Alien is not the first Alien movie I saw, and I just don't remember if the other ones are. I saw Alien 3 before I saw Alien.
Oh, really?
Because it was the one that was out at the time. Um, yeah, so I saw Alien 3 first, and Alien 3 is okay. Um, even though it technically was 4 different movies at different points. Um, but yeah, no, Alien, I'm gonna guess, was the first rated R movie I saw.
Yeah, very good answer. Uh, okay. Try to think of two better questions.
TikTok, TikTok.
Tick tock, tick tock clock.
Dun,
Um,
dun, 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 dun.
uh, okay. As of 2024,
Ugh.
on your bucket list, what are a bunch of new metal bands that you haven't seen live that you will want to are like, okay, I want to see them live when they come to my town. I'm gonna do it.
Bands that are still active, or can I pick up?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. I was gonna say I got a list, but
No, well, either or. You know what?
no,
Sure.
because no. Let's actually do the active one, because no, I'm gonna go off on a tangent if I do the unactive one, because that's like 100 bands. All right, bands that are still around. I'd like to see Tala. I think that'd be cool. Um, is it confirmed if no one is back yet, or no?
I don't think so. I mean, they
Okay.
might. I don't know. Maybe I
Because
have to look.
they reunited for a show, and then they started putting all their stuff on streaming and said that they were going to slowly start putting out remastered versions of all the songs that they recorded after the first album that have been floating around online forever. But I didn't know if that meant they reunited, so maybe not. Um, Boy Hits Car. Uh, Slaves on Dope. Hmm. Cold again. Um, to boo them. Mudvayne. I've never seen Mudvayne. I would like to see Mudvayne.
Me too.
Um, did anybody reunite? Stepa reunited. I'd like to see them. Um,
Hmm.
trying to just go through it in my head. Uh, not new metal, but Machines of Loving Grace reunited, and I want to see them.
Okay.
Um, who else? Crossbreed properly. Because when I saw Crossbreed, they got kicked off the stage after 4 songs. I want to see a full Crossbreed set. Um, who? Blood Youth would be cool live. Force Gary to get a touring band so we can do Memorage live.
Yes.
I've tried to convince him that both episodes. I'm like, do it.
Mhm.
Um, who haven't I seen? Limp Bizkit. But tickets have to be reasonable. I'm sick of this. We're not touring with any good bands and charging $100 for tickets. No,
Mhm.
fuck off. Um, seen Head P. Once again, it's hard without like a list in front of me. If I had like a pile in front of me, I could be like, oh, them.
Mhm.
Uh, it's not new metal, but I guess it's adjacent. If Burton Bell goes out with a solo band, I'd see him.
I mean, he has been doing that, but
Well, if he comes here,
oh, okay,
but he's been like in California. Go
right.
see him. I don't know
Uh,
where. I don't know where in California he's been.
yeah, yeah, he's. I've seen live clips. People say like, it's like kind of a luck of the draw if like he's good or not live, but I've seen him live and recently he's actually been getting a lot better.
That's probably he's probably able to now like pan pick his set list too. It's like, all right, what do I do best live?
Mhm.
um, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think that's it for unless I'm missing somebody. If Defenestration wants to come over here, I'd be cool with that. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, other than that, that's all it's like coming to my brain right now.
Okay. What about non-reunited bands?
Oof. Ultra Spank, V-shaped Mind, Dry Kill Logic. Oh wait, are they reunited?
I think so.
Okay, Dry Kill Logic to the other one. Lollipop Lust Kill. Who are the weird ones? Deadlights. American Head Charge during the War is Art era.
Mhm.
Sinistar.
Mhm.
Genuflect. Because I've
Mhm.
seen Reveille. I'd like to see Genuflect. Um, Godhead. Mm, no one. Psychor.
Yes, Psychor. Yes.
Lifer. Oh, they reunited too.
Mhm.
Breaking Benjamin because I missed them the one time I had a chance to see them. Apartment 26. So then I can get the footage. Um,
Mhm.
once again, I'm sure there's others, but Factory 81. And that'll be enough. That's plenty.
Okay. And I guess my final question,
Why do you
and it's
suck
not,
so much?
and it's not. Do you have any Slipknot?
Do I have it? I have got all the Slipknot. So much Slipknot.
You see? Did you actually see? I don't know if you saw that recently, but did you see a bunch of like uncirculated like live Slipknot videos popped up on YouTube?
Yes.
I
Good.
thought that was, I thought that was pretty
More.
cool.
Um, I thought you were going to ask if I've seen Slipknot. I'm like, we already went over that.
Yeah.
I've
No,
seen them twice. One time they sucked.
when was that?
It was a different Ozfest. They played the second stage. It was during the Volume 3 era.
Oh,
They did not sound good live. And they went heavy-handed on the Volume 3 songs, and I was like, bleh, I don't care.
yeah. Plus, it was before Corey got a voice coach, vocal coach. So
Yeah, he was blown out. I wish I had seen him in retrospect during the All Hope Is Gone era, but it took me so long to like that album. Like
same.
now I like it, but yeah,
Mhm.
I didn't like it for the longest time. I was like, metalcore Slipknot, boo. Fuck your breakdowns.
Yeah.
Break down this.
No, but like, what would, do you have any upcoming plans for any videos on your channel, and do you have any upcoming music plans?
Uh I want to it's almost done. The top oh my god, what did I change it to? Is it 300 top 350 new metal albums?
Mm.
That should be done by the end of the year, I want to say. I want
Okay.
that done. It's in progress. You can if you know where to look, you can find a link to it. I don't have any other real projects I was working on for the channel. Um like talks like after this episode I was planning to take a slight break with Toxcast cuz I didn't and then like try and reline it up with more guests and topics cuz I just didn't I've been doing it almost in seasons now cuz I
Mhm.
did all those talk ones and then took a break and then we came back and we started doing the Toxcast stuff with all the groups and everything.
Mhm.
Um so yeah, if I do another run, I'm gonna try and figure out what I want to do to make it slightly different.
Mhm.
But it's just not mentally there yet. I need to think on it a little bit. Music. I don't know when it's gonna be done, but I've been working on a song with Santiago and Gary that Gary's doing vocals on, and Santiago already did guitars on, and I handled everything else. The point of the it's an experiment by me to I brought them in because I wanted, and I told them both this. I brought them in deliberately to force myself to finish writing a song because boy, do I get like sidetracked if I try and do it myself 100%.
Mhm.
I'll like get halfway through and be like, I don't care anymore. So
Yeah.
by having them attached to it, I was like, well, I got to finish the song. Uh, Otherwise, I'm gonna look like an asshole, and
Mhm.
I do that enough. Um, but yeah, so the whole point of the project is I wanted to take everything I learned sonically and musically from the Backwards Funeral and all the stuff I did with that and turn it into a rock structure or metal structure.
Okay.
And but I didn't want to play the guitar because I'm not a very good guitar player and I wanted to just give somebody something and be like, you have free reign, you do what you think sounds good here, and then I'll take it. And that's exactly what I told Santiago. I was like, I'm giving you free reign. You put guitar wherever you want to put it. You can put multi tracks. I don't care. Just, but it's your reign. If there's something I think is particularly egregious, we'll talk about it. But what he sent me sounded great, so I was like, okay. So then I told the same thing to Gary. I was like, Gary, this is the finished track with the music and the guitars. You can do whatever you want vocally. I don't care. And I think he's supposed to start working on that after he's finished with the Salomoth stuff, which he's working on right now. Because I think that's the next thing. At least I hope so.
Okay.
Um, but other than that, I need to get the second Backwards Funeral album onto streaming, which I said I was going to do, and I still haven't done. I should have done it over the summer when I put it up on YouTube, but I don't have an excuse besides laziness. Um, but yeah, aside from that, I really haven't been doing very much. Like I've rarely been touching my instruments, which is stupid. I should be playing around more. But yeah, that's all I got.
Okay.
Very boring.
No, I'm looking forward to whatever you have to put out. And I'm sure it's gonna be as amazing as always. So
Yes, it'll blow everyone away. They'll go, Detox, where have you been our whole lives? Here's $10 million. I'll go, thank you, kind oil baron.
$1 million record deal with like tour and all the fans and stuff.
Oh, that'll go poorly. 2 shows in, I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is stupid. What do you mean I got to play again? I did it yesterday. This is stupid. Put me on billboards.
Yeah.
All the bitches. But yeah, no. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Oh, my back's like, what are you doing to me? I hate you.
So that I think will conclude our second Q&A.
I mean, John's. We'll do it again in 5 years.
Yes.
Bring the channel will be dead by then. We'll just bring it back. Like, Anthony, you need to do Q&A. Like, who are you? Like, Anthony, it's Detox. I know I disappeared off the grid for 5 years after that last Q&A, but I'm back to answer questions. You're like, where have you been? Like, that's the spirit. Think of the questions.
Yeah.
What do you want to do with your life? We're not gonna take it. No.
I like, I've always liked Twisted Sister. They've been cool.
I like the 3 songs I know. Oh, wait, no, I know the Christmas song, too. I like the 4 songs I know.
Yeah.
Come, all ye faithful. But okay, that is going to close out, as he already stated, the Q&A for 2024. I'll probably, by the time I have this up, it'll be around my birthday. So tell me happy birthday on October 8th, or suffer the consequences. And the consequences are more obscure new metal that you don't like. Wait, what are things that people don't like that I put on my channel? More football things. If you don't say happy birthday, I'm going to post so many football things, and you're going to go, ugh, don't care. Stop playing Tecmo Super Bowl and telling us about football predictions. Post some new metal band who has 15 fans. So then we can rip it and put it on VK. Or somebody else can take it and pretend it's their music and then yell at other people.
VK. Do you have any plans for your 40th birthday?
I have 5 days off from work. That's all I got. And one of my coworkers is making me an angel food cake. So I'm very excited about that. I'm like, angel food cake. She's the one who made me a Sour Patch Kids cake last year. That was awesome. And was made with real Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
She blended it down and turned it into a frosting. It was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, if I had the money, I would throw you a giant birthday party.
Uh-huh. With all the bells and whistles.
Yeah. And I would have a band booked to play for you. Just for you.
It's just Stabbing Westward. I'm like, play only stuff from 2001. He's like, shut up. It's my birthday. I don't care. Go away. We're not doing it. We'll play so far away, and you'll like it, and you'll shut up. You did that when I saw you live, and then you teased rare songs, and then you played Save Yourself, asshole. They're like, we have this rare, obscure B-side from a soundtrack that you've never heard of. And they're like, okay. And then they played What Do I Have to Do? I was like, you fucker. I thought they were going to play Dawn. They fucking spoiled me. I was like, play Dawn. And then they didn't. Very sad. But all right. Yeah, that's it. This has trailed on way too long. So yeah, thank you for watching Toxcast. This is actually going to be, by my count, the 16th episode. 16 of these. It's like, well, why aren't you doing it every week? Shut up. Podcasts that do it every week don't make any money either. New Breed don't make no money. The other ones don't make. Roach Coach don't make no money. Leave me alone. I do what I want. I made $7 last month. I'm fucking rolling in it. Shit. I'm gonna be so rich. But okay, thank you everyone for watching. If you stuck around this long, God bless you, or Satan bless you, whatever you're feeling. And till next time, farewell.
Take care.
Woo!